Please note that any comments, jokes, questions, maybe anything that we say on the History of Bad Ideas is all in good fun. And remember, we insult everybody. Our thoughts, opinions, questions, anything else, actions that we do on the show do not reflect any of our employers, organizations, advertisers, or anyone else that is associated with the History of Bad Ideas. And remember, at the end of the day, it's just a joke.
Superman before Zack Snyder ruined him. Michael Keaton was the best Batman, while Christian Bale was just deadpan. No one remembers the other ones. Princess Leia in bikini and transform a Lamborghini. Please don't let Shia LaBeouf ever act again.
Please, God, no.
Remembering tales from the crypt, back when Michael Bay wrote good scripts.
He wrote scripts.
All right here is no mystery. It's the history of bad.
It's bad.
It's the history of bad.
So bad.
It's the history of bad ideas. It's the history of bad.
It's bad.
It's the history of bad.
So bad.
It's the history of bad ideas. Podcast.
Welcome to the History of Bad Ideas, episode number 555, I think. I'm Jason.
I'm Jeff.
I'm Brian.
And with us this week is none other than Ian from the Pittsburgh Nerd Podcast, the best podcaster in Pittsburgh. Is that correct?
Well. 'Tis I.
Oh!
The quintessential stud muffin and a damn handsome man. Sean. I'm like a Rubik's Cube. The more you play with it, the harder it gets. Coon.
And that's why you're better than Ian.
Because I'm the only podcaster that can pull old Joel Gertner bits and use them as his own.
I like it.
6 people in your audience got that, and the rest of them are like, what the hell is this?
Do you have a neck brace on?
For purposes of the podcast, I am wearing a neck brace, yes.
Okay. Gotcha. Look up some ECW people.
If you're going to sell the bit, go full kayfabe. That's
right. Yeah. I wonder what he's doing right now.
I see him on Twitter now and again. I know he does the con circuit quite a bit, and otherwise, I don't know. I think he runs a bar or something. I'm not quite sure.
Gotcha. What we're talking about is Joel Gertner from ECW's early days. I guess they didn't really have late days either. It wasn't around that long.
There's the original ECW, and then there's the WWE ECW, and Joel was the original ECW.
Yes, when you could smack fans around and it would be okay.
Well, the Dudley Boys almost smacked me on several occasions.
Yes.
And Joel Gertner at one point did go out of his way to insult me.
Did he?
Nice.
He's my hero now.
We used to go all the time when ECW, the original ECW, they would come to the Ross Draver Ice Garden. They would do 2 shows in Pittsburgh, one on Friday night and one on Saturday night. The Friday night one was usually a TV taping, and that was in the Beaver County Beaver Dome. And then we would see them at the Ross Draver Ice Garden, which was just like this old beat-up hockey rink where junior hockey was played and shit. And we always had front row seats. We just spent the money. And this was back in the days when Ticketmaster was in an infancy, and my friend Thad, superfan Thad, would go online and get us front row seats for every show.
Mm-hmm.
So we were kind of known. We were kind of like the Pittsburgh version of the guys who wore the straw hats and the Hawaiian shirts in Philadelphia.
Gotcha.
And I was yelling at Gertner one time, put on a fucking shirt, you fat piece of shit. And he's riding me and I'm riding him, and it's all in good fun, but I'm just riding him. The next time they come to town, it was January, right after the Steelers had lost to the Broncos in the AFC Championship game, the infamous the one where Cordell Stewart got spit on.
Yes.
Yeah.
By his own players.
Yeah. Yeah, pretty much. But so Gertner comes to the ring and he's got his jacket tight around him, holding his jacket tight. And he's talking about, like, I've got a surprise for all you people. I've taken the advice of you finally, especially this gentleman right here. And he points right at me. Oh, fuck. And he takes off his jacket. He's wearing a Denver Broncos AFC Champs t-shirt. And I'm like, motherfucker, got me. And he, like, spent the entire match, like, dancing in front of me and stuff. It was great, you know.
Good, Jeff. Sorry.
Oh, I had nothing.
Oh, okay.
I was just chuckling. I thought it was a funny story.
Brian, did you watch ECW growing up?
Not really. I didn't really get into ECW until it was like the WWF's ECW.
Gotcha. With the zombie, I think there was a zombie, wasn't there?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, I mean, you know what the Rob Thorne or whatever his name was. He had the vampire.
Well, it was on the Sci-Fi Channel, so it had to do it.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah, but I mean,
I'm glad that you're here, Sean, because I have somebody else that loves wrestling as much as me, so I appreciate that.
I'm happy to be here. I have often said to myself, if it wasn't for the fact that I know Brigger is busy, we should do a wrestling podcast.
I agree with you on that.
But
I
think we would have fun and make it positive.
Here's the thing, Sean. What if we did it like before the big? It would start with the small, and we do it before the big 4 pay-per-views for WWE.
I would be down for that. Yeah,
the Rumble, the SummerSlam, Survivor Series, and WrestleMania.
Yeah,
I think we should make something like that work. I could do that. Like
it could be a Hobie special presentation.
It could be. Brian could even come on if you would like to watch wrestling again.
I mean, I still watch wrestling.
Do you still watch WWE?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Are you a Cody Rhodes fan anymore?
Yeah.
Okay. Well,
yeah, I'm still. I mean, Cody got me back into wrestling.
Really?
Yeah, like when he left WWE.
Mm-hmm.
I started kind of following his journey, and then like that got me into watching stuff from New Japan and Ring of Honor, and then I learned about like Kenny Omega and the Bucks and Adam Page and Okada and like all those guys that like I was just like that's kind of because like it interested me that like the news that Cody was leaving, and I was like, you know, he's Stardust, and you know, I mean, and from afar I was paying attention, but I was like, he's nothing. But like that story interested me enough that I kind of followed it, and like you realize like he's betting on himself and he's winning, and then that led to the first All In, which was a fantastic show, and you're just like, there's something here. There's really something here, and that's when AEW. It's part of the roots of AEW.
Yes.
I'd say it that way. Not the full roots, but part of it.
I've always been in it. I just always love wrestling. And it's gotten to the point now that my 14-year-old makes fun of me. Oh, look at these great storylines, Dad. Shut it, you're grounded. But it's MJF is one of the guys that I started really getting into back in MLW days, which is an independent league. And I'm watching this guy, and he is this cocky son of a bitch. And I'm like, this guy is fantastic. And then I started following him, and like, even at like autograph signings, he would never drop character. And it was the greatest thing. And then people online would be like, he's so mean to people. It's like, that's his fucking character. Like, stop being soft and appreciate what he's doing. Like people would give him drawings that they did of him at these autograph signs, and he would just rip them up or just like mangle them, and it's the funniest thing. And he's like, well, that's a piece of shit, and he just throws it away, and people were like, I can't believe he did that. It's like, that's awesome. That's what you want him to do. You want him to be a Kevin Sullivan.
Like I think of him more of a Roddy Piper, but R.I.P. Kevin Sullivan, the original Devil.
Oh, Kevin Sullivan. Breath of silence, everybody.
Yeah. There we go.
Kevin Sullivan.
Yeah, he's like a reincarnation of Roddy Piper.
He is. Before Piper went soft, bastard.
No, I mean he got
Before
old.
Piper went Hollywood.
Then he showed his ass to Bill Maher.
Yes.
One of the great moments in television history.
Maybe MJF will just make They Live 2. That would be awesome.
That would. Well, I mean, he did have his major motion picture debut in the Iron Claw.
That's true. Brian, you like that movie? He's muted.
I wouldn't say I liked it because it was the most depressing film I've ever seen, but it was well done. Yeah.
I like how you said it was the most depressing film, but yet they didn't even show the story of the one brother. They left one
they
brother
didn't tell
out.
the entire family story. 4/5 of it.
I mean, I went and saw that in a theater, and I was, and I know the story of the Von Erichs. Kerry Von Erich is one of my all-time favorite wrestlers. I was watching World Class Championship Wrestling when it was on. They showed it here.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, I knew the Von Erichs. I remember when he beat Ric Flair at Texas Stadium, stuff like that. All that stuff I knew. So I knew the story really well. And still at the end, when his kids are like, "Why are you sad, Daddy?" "Oh, I used to be a brother too." And I'm like, "Oh," I just started bawling. Right then and there, I'm like, "I'm done." The dam broke, and I was like, "Oh, I'm glad I held out to the end."
I always liked Kerry. I even liked Kerry Von Erich when he became Texas Tornado. It was his one chance, and then he was in a motorcycle accident, lost half his leg. And you got to give the guy credit. He still wrestled and never showed anybody.
Well,
yeah. Him and Mr. Perfect would go back and forth, which was amazing. So
and there's another guy right there, Kurt Hennig, who deserved more than he ever got.
Yes.
Although when we talk about Mr. Perfect, I got to throw out my complaints.
What's that?
Well, his finishing move, his pinning move, he's the one whose shoulders are on the mat.
You leave the perfect plex alone.
Look,
the perfect plex, he throws it on, and he's pinned himself.
The fisherman's suplex is the perfect pinning predicament. It was shown later on in ECW when Shane Douglas adopted the fisherman's suplex and called it the Pittsburgh plunge.
Yep. Good old Shane. Jeff, do you remember, this might have been after your time, do you remember Henry Godwinn from WWE?
The name sounds familiar, but I can't place him.
He was right before the Attitude Era. I remember he had a feud with Triple H when Triple H was being punished for the curtain call, and they had a hog pen match or something, and Triple H got beat up in pig shit or something. It was the worst.
Well, Henry Godwinn is a hillbilly. Plays the role of a hillbilly because Vince McMahon loves hillbillies, and if you see it now, it's really sad. On an independent circuit, Shane Douglas versus Henry Godwinn, and it literally looks like two 80-year-olds were just fighting each other. It looks like a wrestling fight at the flea market. It is sad.
That's the promotion Shane owns at Appalachian.
Yes,
Mountain
it's Appalachian. Yep.
Yeah, I did see that, and I was just depressed.
Yes. Jeff, you move faster than them.
I went ahead and Googled Henry Godwinn.
Mm-hmm.
Pops up, a couple things pop up, and you get the Godwins.
Yes.
The worst of WWF.
That's true. It was not a good era. It was not a good era.
If you're going to be bad, you might as well be the worst.
Yes, because everybody loves hillbillies. Apologize to all the hillbillies that we have out there listening.
Well, I love hillbillies. There's nothing wrong with hillbillies.
No,
I got nothing. I got nothing against hillbillies. One of my favorite songs about living the hillbilly life. Copperhead Road.
Brian is against hillbillies because he lives in the rich area of Cincinnati. So he doesn't have any hillbillies out by him.
Jason, I thought you lived in a rich area.
No. Brian actually lives in a richer area.
Wow.
Jason doesn't live in Cincinnati. He lives out in
By Indiana. Yeah, I do.
I mean, that's like me saying I live in Pittsburgh when I really live in White Oak.
No, I actually have a different city. Mine's a whole different city.
Yeah, so's mine.
Well, okay.
Like I'm in Allegheny County still, which is what Pittsburgh is in, but the city I live in is not a part of the city of Pittsburgh.
Did the bridges in Pittsburgh ever get rebuilt after Bane blew them up?
They did, yes.
Okay.
Thank goodness.
Just making sure. Making sure.
It did cause a massive traffic snarl for quite some time, though.
Gotcha. Unfortunately, Heinz Ward lived. That was not great.
Come on now.
I'm just saying.
I know, I get it. You're Cincinnati boys, you're Ohio boys, but come on, it's
just saying.
Don't expect Heinz Ward like that.
Brian, how you doing over there?
I'm doing good.
Okay. Did you get the part that you were living in the upper class of everybody?
Yeah, I had to step away from the computer for a second because there's 2 fire trucks and an ambulance outside of my house. So I kind of came back at the right time for you describing me in the upper upper class Norwood or whatever. I didn't quite hear it, but it was very fitting.
Pinky's out.
Is the ambulance for you?
No, but it's right across the street from my house, so okay. Just making sure my neighbors didn't die.
Oh, okay.
You were being nebby.
Yes, I was being nosy.
No, it's nebby.
Nebby.
Maybe in your parts of the world, it's nebby.
I like that people tuned in this week, and the first 13 minutes is wrestling talk, and now we're talking about Brian's upper class living.
Yeah. The specific region of our areas that we live in, that we don't actually live in the actual cities we say we're from.
Correct. And I do not have a security guard at the front of my subdivision. Sorry. I do not.
Not anymore.
Well, he died. Earl. He fell in the pond.
R.I.P. Earl.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Earl had to die.
He did.
The Disney Chicks made a song about him.
They did. Did you watch anything this week?
I did.
What'd you watch?
I watched the first 5 episodes of the Umbrella Academy season 4.
Final season, right?
Yeah.
Final season. 1 episode to go.
How was it?
It's pretty good.
Okay.
Apparently, a lot of people are bitching about it. I haven't seen the end to know if it's worth bitching about, but I don't know. I think it fits what the previous seasons. It fits along the storyline that they've set up.
I'm 3 seasons behind. 4 seasons. Shit.
It's worth a watch, Jason. I highly recommend it. I did watch all 6 episodes, and I enjoyed the final season. I didn't mind the ending of it. I thought it fitted kind of the whole vibe of the show, and it's a quirky show that I think you would enjoy, Jason. I mean, if you like Mystery Men, this is kind of like Mystery Men cranked up to 11.
I watched most of the first season. I don't know if I finished it. Basically, if I go back, I'm going to have to start over.
Right.
Because it's been so long. I'm just shocked, Jeff, that you said people were bitching about it. Online, that usually never happens.
No.
Nah, it usually doesn't. That's why it surprised me. I heard people were complaining. Because normally people all, like to discuss the merits and debate the highs and lows.
Oh, yeah.
Without really complaining, but
Brian monitors the internet for us, and Brian always talks about how great the internet is and how nice people are.
For the most part.
Yeah.
I will say that I was part of the contributing negativity for the final season of Umbrella Academy on the internet.
Wow.
Uh-oh.
I didn't care for it. I just didn't like the way they ended it. It wasn't. It felt really rushed to me. Instead of doing 6 episodes, if they would have done 10 like all the other seasons, it would have probably felt complete to me.
I will agree with you on that. I did feel it like they did rush it a little bit more. So I do agree with you on that. I feel if they had gone a full 10, it might have felt a little bit more complete. But I'll back you on that. But it didn't take away from my enjoyment of the show.
No, like I enjoyed watching the last season, but like at the end, I just like my wife and I just kind of looked at each other and we're like, like they could have probably given them, even if they gave them 8 episodes, they still would have been able to complete more of the things that they started in that season.
Did you enjoy Umbrella Academy or The Boys more this year, Brian?
Probably Umbrella Academy.
Okay.
The Boys is, I'm getting bored with it. Like the stories are just very boring. Like the last season and a half, I feel like
I feel it has jumped its shark.
Literally?
Yeah.
Well, no, literally it was a dolphin that jumped through the window.
Yeah.
Oh,
I've enjoyed The Boys this season. I'm not finished with it yet. I'm still getting through it. I enjoy it, but it definitely is getting to the point like I'm glad there's an end game. Like next season's it. That's good. Let's end it.
Yeah.
I never read that comic book, so I don't know. So my enjoyment is strictly off of the show. I don't know if you guys read the books or not.
I read 10 to 20. I read 10 to 20 issues.
Okay.
So it was fine. It got to the point you're just like, ooh, yeah. And it was the same thing that Jeff has said. Like even the comic books, there was issues that was like, okay, are you just doing this just to be shock value, which is fine in itself. But if you keep trying to shock everybody without actually doing the story, it's kind of whatever.
And I will say, I think I agree with you guys on with Umbrella Academy. Like I said, I'm 5 episodes in, and it feels like I should be halfway through the season, not right at the end.
Yeah.
It feels like it's going to take a lot to just wrap it all up.
Is this is the 6 episodes it, or is there another second set?
No, it's 6 episodes and done.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah, it's not like Cobra Kai where they're doing a supersized 15 and breaking up into 5s. Mm-hmm. They just did 6 and that was it.
Huh?
Like when I got to episode 4 and it came up like 2 episodes left, I'm like, what the fuck? Okay.
Yeah, I did the same thing. Like, and I went to like IMDb to see like how many episodes there were because I did the same thing when I found out. I didn't realize that Cobra Kai they were doing it 15 instead of 10 like normal, but and then I looked and there was like no more of like season 4 left, and I was like, well, fuck, like, oh well.
But then Cobra Kai's getting a movie though too.
Cobra Kai, the way they're breaking it up doesn't bother me because I lived through the Battlestar Galactica final season, and that drove me insane.
Galactica 80?
No, I'm not Galactica, even though that was horrible. No, the Ronald D. Moore Battlestar Galactica.
Oh, okay.
Because they cut that in half, and then they waited a whole year to show the second half of the final season.
So it's like a typical HBO series.
Yeah, I think Sopranos,
Sci-Fi
didn't they
Channel.
do that?
What's that, Jeff?
So didn't Sopranos do that? Like cut their last season in half like that? And I think Breaking Bad did that, although it wasn't like a whole year. It was only like 3 months later or something. But
yeah,
it is tough. Like my wife and I start watching these shows, and it's like we're up to date on stuff once in a while, and it's like end of the season, we're like, oh, okay, great. And then it's like 6 years later, oh, we got a new season now. It's like, son of a bitch. Now I got to rewatch the last season just to remember what was going on.
To be perfectly honest, I was just mentioning this to Erica that I feel like I'm going to need to rewatch Yellowstone before November. Because it's been over a year and there's 5 episodes left.
Is that it?
Yeah. there's just 5 left.
And you posted, I think, about a new season or a new spinoff, right?
I think that's like the main one that they've been talking about doing with McConaughey.
Okay.
And then I think that they just added
Michelle Pfeiffer.
Yeah,
Jeff's going to watch now.
McConaughey.
It's like,
has
oh great,
been
now
confirmed.
I got to watch, and I haven't watched any Yellowstone, so I hope I don't need to know what's going on in Yellowstone to watch this.
Don't worry, you can pretty much get the gist of it from us because we don't know what's going on either, and we've watched every episode. I just want to know how they kill Costner.
Yeah, like the first, that episode, the episode, whatever episode it is, that when it comes back is like, I'm very curious to see how they write him off.
I think that episode is going to set the tone for the final season. Like, if they do it well,
I wouldn't even call it a season. It's not a season. It's the final half.
Okay, sorry, the final half.
That's 5 episodes. So,
do you care as much anymore? Because I don't.
But it's also like, I feel like it's because like when it first came out, like it was the hottest thing ever, and like then they did the spin-offs, which I haven't watched all of them, but like it was just it was always on, like, or people were always talking about it, and then like it's been so long since it's been on that there's so much other content out there. People will just like stop talking about it and stop caring, it feels like to me.
Well, the issue is too, like 1923 is really, really good. I like that one a lot. But they haven't made that, came out a year and a half ago now. And I'm like, and supposedly they're making a second season. It's like, well, I hope so, because it ended like they need to make a second season. And I'm like, at this point, Harrison Ford might die in real life. Like, let's get this show going. Like, I need this done. You got.
He might really die of dysentery.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Disney legend, Harrison Ford. We'll get to that in a bit.
Disney legend because he's going to be playing Thunderbolt Ross?
No, because he was honored as a Disney legend.
Yes, he was. I saw that.
Miley Cyrus was honored as a Disney legend, youngest ever.
I did hear that.
Doug's got to be proud of me. Does
he?
So
yeah.
So I gotta ask.
Mm-hmm.
He's a Disney legend because Disney bought up the properties that he's done?
Yes, that's how it works.
Okay. It's not that he did much for Disney. They just bought up the stuff that he was in.
Right. It's just like somehow Dan Marino is in the ACC Hall of Fame.
Is that for selling prescriptions? Oh, I'm sorry, allegedly.
Yeah, that's it exactly. Yeah.
Dr. Marino.
Somehow Dan Marino, I think Hugh Jackson and Larry Fitzgerald are all somehow in like the ACC Hall of Fame. Somehow,
Hugh Jackson.
Never played. Yeah.
But the school that they went to eventually made it into that conference.
Exactly, yes. Even though they never played a single game as an ACC opponent, they they somehow made it in. Congratulations.
I will say I did watch Deadpool versus Wolverine. Is everybody caught up on that?
I have not seen it yet, but I mean, I basically know it.
Okay.
The internet holds no secrets.
I know. I held off, Sean, as long as possible. Well, just because I didn't get a chance to go, and I tried my best not to see anything online, and that failed miserably. So,
yeah, I mean, it was everywhere.
Yeah.
I tried not to ruin anything for you, Jay.
No, and you're fine. I mean, you know what? It's at my own discretion, right? I mean, it's my own fault. Like, after a week, you're going to get something online because every fucking news media puts the spoilers in the headlines. I'm like, what the fuck are we doing here?
Sorry, I haven't had a chance to monitor the spoilers. Grammar's keeping me busy.
Get on that, Brian.
It's on my list, okay?
You know, to be fair, Brian, you work for the Cincinnati Enquirer, and that takes a lot of editing. A lot.
Oh, it still exists?
They call it the Cincinnati Enquirer, but 95% of the articles that they turn out have nothing to do with the greater Cincinnati area.
It's true.
Yeah.
It's true.
Well, I mean, they're run out of Columbus,
or
and they
news in
just
general.
and they just reprint USA Today articles. So
Does USA Today still exist?
I hope so,
Yes.
because that's where Cincinnati Enquirer gets all their news from.
I mean, that is true, though. Like, or Sean, you're right. Like, I haven't seen a USA Today in ages. I wonder if they just, like, throw
They
out...
bought up all of the local papers, and then, like, they're branded, like, the Cincinnati Enquirer is basically the USA Today of Cincinnati. Like,
That's a genius move by USA Today.
That's true, because you used to, like, anytime you, like, were out of town, like, in a hotel, the hotel always gave you the USA Todays.
Yeah.
And so you can get the news for the entire country anyway.
I always liked on the USA Today that they had little blurbs about the one page was just each state had like a little blurb about news happening. Like it would be like,
Oh yeah, I remember that. Yeah.
yeah, like North Dakota flooding killed 8,000 people. South Dakota, everything's fine. It's like, wait a minute, what happened in North Dakota?
Just a blurb.
Don't worry about that.
No.
Yeah.
The best thing that the USA Today did was, like, every week they published the baseball stats of the week. So when you were doing fantasy baseball before computerized things took it all up, then just one place with all the stats for the week.
They did that. They also were great with the NFL for fantasy football as well. Like they had the best stats page.
Correct.
Remember when newspapers, well, one, were a thing, and two, actually did stats?
Oh yeah.
Well, like I said, nowadays, like, if you do get an actual newspaper, it's published so early now, printed so early, that the local evening game, that 7:00 game, is no longer in the paper because they printed it before it ended.
Yeah.
The Reds are
Where
tied
it
1-1
used to be,
in
you
the
know,
fifth.
Yeah, the Reds had 1-1 in the fifth when we went to print. It's like, yeah, thanks.
They had a 2:10 start time. How'd they do that? So back to Deadpool. It was great. Great
Deadpool, that's what we were talking about.
Great film. I love the cameos. Just really well done. It was nice to go into a movie and just kind of enjoy it. I equate it to the Marvels. Marvels was not as good as Deadpool, but it was nice to go see a superhero film and not have to worry about 80,000 other movies. Yeah, they had connections.
What are you talking about? That's all you had to worry about.
No,
the whole point of this movie was you had to know all the cameos.
Okay, hold on. Let me retract that. Okay, it was nice to see. Okay, you didn't have to worry about anything in the last 10 years that was made by Marvel. It was just Fox shit. My bad. Let me rephrase that. So the rumor is the reason why Wolverine is angsty in this movie and is the worst one, and you know how he left people like he left the X-Men alone and all that stuff, and a lot of people died. The original script, the rumor is that it was the council of Kangs that was killing everybody on his planet, and so he basically got scared and ran away from the Kangs. But since they fired Jonathan Majors, yeah, they had to redo that and basically took out who it was that was killing the X-Men on his planet. So it was like, oh. Well, that would have been nice to see. I mean, I guess that's how they would have connected Deadpool and Wolverine to everything. But yeah. So, just a little interesting.
They did it through the TVA. That's all they needed.
I did like the TVA. I love the TVA. And they had the main bad guy from TVA being the guy from Succession. So, that was nice. So, but yeah, really enjoyed it. A movie I did not enjoy as much, Trap. I watched Trap.
Don't watch it. Don't recommend.
Watch it on Peacock.
Yeah.
Oh, well, that means
Hopefully
I
it
would have
comes
to
out
pay
before
for Peacock.
Hopefully it comes out before the price increase.
Yeah. It was so basically my wife and the kids went with her whole family camping all weekend from Thursday through Sunday. So I don't camp. And so I was home by myself, so I was a bachelor, and I obviously took off work 2 days so I could play college football on the PlayStation. And then I went and saw
You're playing Akron.
Yes, I am Akron in the franchise. Currently 9-0 in the third season right now. So I'm sure I'm going to lose to Bowling Green. But anyways, so I went and actually had time to go see movies. So I saw Deadpool. Then I stayed and watched Trap because, why not? It was just me that was paying for a ticket. Yeah, it was interesting. It was not great.
Oh, you didn't just sneak into the theater?
I could have. I decided not to just because of karma. And I was like, I'm stealing. I don't want to do that. In hindsight, I probably should have. It wasn't horrible. It was just,
Was it
Not worth
predictable?
paying for.
Yeah, it's not worth paying for it unless you got a streaming service. It was, I mean, it wasn't totally predictable, but like a lot of it felt like M. Night was just basically putting his daughter in it to jumpstart her record career because she's the singer in it. And it says all songs written and performed by whatever her name is. And I'm like, okay. And she plays like a Taylor Swift. What's that?
She's pretty much doing what Kevin Smith started to do.
Yes. I think this girl has more talent than Kevin Smith's daughter in terms of acting. And she wasn't horrible. It wasn't bad. It's just, I don't know. I was kind of like, bleh. And then I did watch Late Night with the Devil, which we talked about coming out a couple months ago. Blake was all excited about that one. And that lived up. That was damn good. Very, very well done. I paid $5 for it on Amazon and felt like I got my money's worth.
Wow.
So really enjoyed it. It was the 1970s found footage, basically, of the talk show.
1970s. So this was the show before David Letterman took it over.
Correct. They did mention that he was trying to go after Johnny Carson's Tonight Show and ratings and that. And they did it very well done. Like, they showed, like, they played it off as this was actual, talk show at the time. And he interviews a girl that's possessed by the devil from a cult. And it was good. I really enjoyed it. They built it up very well. All the characters did well. All the actors and actresses did great. So highly recommend Late Night with the Devil. So there you go. So anybody else watch anything?
I watched a fine film on Apple TV called The Instigators.
How is that?
It was okay. Like, it wasn't phenomenal. Didn't roll my socks up and down. But friend of the show, Matty Damon, he was on there, and he's always delivers. Casey Affleck wasn't bad. It was a good movie. I mean, I wouldn't have gone to a theater to go see it, but watching it on streaming, I was entertained for 2 hours.
That's on Apple.
Apple, yeah.
I'm just impressed you got Matt Damon as a friend of your show.
Yes. Matty Damon, friend of the show, longtime listener, has never written in, but we know he's a fan.
I mean, wow, because I thought we were great when we had Channing Tatum, as a friend of our shows, but I think you might have outdone us on that.
You may have a friend of the show, Sean. Do you have an enemy of the show? Tara Reid is our enemy. She does not like us.
My understanding, if we do have any sort of enemy of the show, it might be Kathleen Kennedy.
Oh, yeah.
Oh.
She directed.
I saw that South Park. You don't want to be enemies with Kathleen Kennedy.
No, I mean, I try not to be. I try very hard not to be, but I feel like any criticization I have, I try to justify it. Like, I'm not just like, because I just had this argument with my dad. Like, my dad's like, yeah, Kathleen Kennedy ruined Lucasfilm. I'm like, did she really? And And we had this argument about it, and I kind of won because I'm like, he's like, because his justification is like, well, you look at it with rose-colored glasses because you love Star Wars. I'm like, well, maybe I do, but I can tell you when I don't like something. I can tell you the Rise of Skywalker was not a good movie. You know, I mean, it wasn't. You know, I could tell you the Acolyte was just meh. You know, I didn't like it, but I didn't hate it either. It just was meh. If they do a season 2, I don't care. But like the other stuff that they've done during her reign, I can't complain with too much.
I had hopes for the Acolyte, and then I watched it, and it was just I mean, you had nothing to bog you down because you're taking place before all the stuff that's already happened. So so you don't have to connect to any of that, and it just fell flat.
The thing that drove me nuts was like everybody talked about their ignorance of Star Wars, and then it shows in what you put out because it just like you almost sat there and portrayed the Sith like they're right. I'm like, no, the Sith are never right. There's a reason why her lightsaber turned red. You know, like there's a corruption that takes place with the Sith. Like, you know, I'm not saying the Jedi are right and they're perfect, but the Sith are never right. There is no, you know, gray area with the Sith.
My issue is I did like that it basically showed that it doesn't matter who's in power, they both suck. It doesn't matter who's in charge of government. Yeah. Which is very realistic. Yeah.
If you look at it from that term, then yes, red or blue, they both suck. Yeah.
Which one sucks worse?
Yeah.
Brian, we're talking Star Wars over here, your favorite series?
What's that?
We're talking Star Wars, your favorite series?
Yeah, no, what is that?
It's a sci-fi that takes place long time ago.
It's not sci-fi.
That's why
it's
said
it. Yeah, it's
space fantasy.
Yes, it's what's space opera.
Yeah, I do have to say the Acolyte did almost get into science fiction when they were like exploring the planet for the possible, I can't remember the terms there, but the possible, you know, beginning of life type stuff. Yeah. I'm like, wait a minute, there's getting a little sciencey here.
Yeah.
That's so unlike Star Wars outside of midichlorian.
We don't talk about that.
Yeah, we don't talk about that.
We don't ever talk about that. It never happened.
Why it can't be sci-fi, because the closest science they've had was the worst thing of it.
Yeah. Do you guys ever watch the guy who does the deep fakes of it's Obi-Wan Kenobi, a Bacta tank resurrected Anakin Skywalker, and the Force ghost of Qui-Gon Jinn watching Star Wars?
No.
I have not seen that.
I'm going to have to see that now.
Yeah, it is hysterical. Like, and they watch everything. They're watching the movies, and Qui-Gon, he's watching the movies like, you know, completely ignorant of the fact that Anakin turns to the dark side. So, like, you know, and he doesn't know that, you know, Count Dooku, his former master, turned to the dark side. Like, so he's like watching stuff. He's like, he doesn't seem like that bad of a guy. That's very dark side. It's hysterical. I think the guy's name is Charlie Huffman or something. He's British, but he does like these deep fakes and impressions of Obi-Wan, Qui-Gon, and Anakin, and they're spot on, and it's hysterical. I highly recommend. Like, they're usually like about 20 to 30 minutes on YouTube, but well worth just watching because it's funny shit.
Guess I'm going down that rabbit hole tonight.
There you go.
Yeah, I'm pulling that up right now.
Let's see here. Speaking of movies, we did have a poll of the week that you can follow us at Bad Ideas Podcast on Twitter and the History of Bad Ideas on.
I didn't watch anything this week.
Oh, Brian, what'd you watch? Brian?
Yeah.
What'd you watch?
Oh, is this hello? Can you hear me?
Yes.
Oh, okay. I wasn't sure if I had a connection or not. I started after watching Deadpool Wolverine. I decided to start watching all of the X-Men films.
How's that going?
I got to hear about this.
I am up to X-Men Apocalypse.
And?
Well, you're almost done then.
Yeah, so I just have Logan, Dark Phoenix. Well, I have to watch Apocalypse because I fell asleep during it. Still. So, Apocalypse,
Man, you have to go
Logan,
through it a
Dark
second
Phoenix.
time?
Yeah, I know. So I have 4 left.
The New Mutants?
Yeah. Apocalypse, Logan, Dark Phoenix, and New Mutants. Those are the 4 that I have left.
Logan's good.
Logan's phenomenal.
Yeah, that's about it.
I was one of the few people that enjoyed the New Mutants, so hopefully you find some joy in that.
Like I will tell you now, like in all honesty, and I hate saying this, like you will be doing yourself a favor by skipping Dark Phoenix.
Oh my god, it's so bad.
I'm starting to feel that, and I think Jim said it best when I told him like I started. So I started and I'm watching them in order that they were released.
Right.
And like Jim, when I was telling Jim about it, he was like, the more that you get into it, the worse they get. So I can definitely see that trend. Yeah, like
how is Days of Future Past?
Yeah, that was rough.
And it looks like a gem.
I really look like Days of Future Past, and I will tell you now as well. Like Apocalypse overall is not a great movie,
no,
but there are some moments in that movie that are phenomenal. Like really, like anything with Magneto,
yeah,
is just amazing. Like but like once you get past Apocalypse, like Logan is quite possibly one of the greatest comic book movies that's ever been made.
It's well done,
and then you get to Dark Phoenix, and I will tell you now, like that is one of the worst movies ever made. Not even comicdom, just overall. Period. End of story. That is fucking awful.
Really.
I think anything got New Mutants because I never saw it.
My favorite parts about those movies is, like you said, Magneto. I mean, it's like you got Fassbender, great actor, really does the character well, but they give him the same role in every movie.
I'm a good guy now.
Can we trust him? Yeah. Oh, well, now we'll bring him back to the good side, and then he betrays him at the end. And spoiler, Brian.
But like the scene like in Apocalypse, like the scene in the forest.
Yes.
That is so good. Like
I will give you that.
Like that is an amazing scene where I'm like, okay, I got my money's worth just from this. And even the scene at Auschwitz where, Apocalypse is kind of like showing Magneto the depth of his power is like, that is really, really, really well done. But like overall, like the story's just like meh. Like, and it's like you wasted like not only a great actor, but also the character of Apocalypse, who like if you guys have read X-Men, like he's one of the greatest villains of all time for the X-Men.
Yeah. No, I agree. Even Oscar Isaac couldn't save it. Poor Oscar.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
so
Oscar
you got that looking forward to, Brian. Good luck.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that was my plan, was to finish that tonight, because I started it this morning and then fell asleep like 30 minutes in. So
it gets so much better, Brian.
Yeah, no, I mean, so of all of the ones that I've seen, I think so far, like my favorite is probably Origins Wolverine. I think
with Deadpool.
Oh, that's one of your favorites?
Please tell me you're kidding.
Yeah.
My.
I mean, I don't know. I liked it. So
I mean, it's each their own. But wow, that was
a
tough one. I thought.
I didn't think. I thought that one. Oh, go ahead, Sean. Sorry.
The Wolverine is a better movie until you get to the very end. Then it goes off the rails. Like,
oh yeah.
Like I don't know.
The third act was terrible.
Yeah.
But the Wolverine's where he's in Asia,
yes,
Tokyo.
Yes,
yeah. That one was was good, but then like by the time it was over, I was like, okay, I'm happy it's over.
Yeah, they butchered the Silver Samurai. Like, they just could not get that villain right, and I was so bummed out.
I felt like X-Men Origins isn't as bad, especially when you start seeing what else the X-Men put out. You're like, X-Men Origins isn't that bad. Let's go with it.
I guess the good why it could be enjoyable is coming from not coming from knowing all the lore that came before. I mean, starting with a fresh slate, I could see parts of that might be good.
Yeah.
Even as terrible as I thought Ryan Reynolds' Deadpool was in that, because they didn't know how to handle Deadpool.
We should probably cover his mouth up.
Yeah, the mark with the mouth. Let's sew his mouth shut. But
again, like, I will say this, like, in your defense, Brian, like, there are parts of X-Men Origins Wolverine that are phenomenal. Like, Liv Schreiber as
Sabretooth.
Yeah, he's fantastic.
Yeah,
and
that whole opening montage was good.
Yeah, like, there's a lot of good stuff in that movie, but again, you kind of get to that third act and it just goes off the rails. Like, and it goes off the rails even harder than
Yeah, to be honest, I kind of feel that way about all of them. Like, they all have good parts and they all have bad parts. Like, there isn't like a complete overall, in my opinion, great film coming out of what I've seen so far of of X-Men.
Logan, not to oversell it, is probably the best.
That's what everyone has told me, or that I've read and I've seen, is that it is probably, of the franchise, it's the best.
I think a lot of it has to do because it's so different than everything else that came before it.
Yeah.
I still love X2. I love X-Men 2.
I think X-Men 2 is, like, of the non-Wolverine solo movies, that's probably the best X-Men movie.
Nightcrawler's amazing in it.
I personally would pick First Class as my favorite.
Ooh, that is a good one.
That is very good. I'm not gonna
Kevin Bacon.
Those, Jeff. I mean, that is a good. I mean, it's probably not my number 2. But I think X2 just is. I think Brian Cox is what does it for me. Like, Brian Cox is such.
He's good in everything he does.
Yeah,
Super Troopers.
Super Troopers.
Except maybe his being the original movie Hannibal actor, but
even that's Manhunter is a bit underrated. Like, I kind of like Manhunter, but it's directed by Michael Mann, so it has a spot in my heart because I like Michael Mann.
So, funny story about Super Troopers. I just read this last week. I forgot I'd bring on the podcast last week. So, originally, they wanted, the Broken Lizard guys wanted Bill Murray for Brian Cox's role in Super Troopers. Yeah. So, they called the agent. They got in touch with Bill Murray's agent. And they're like, we want you to offer this to him. And she's like, I think it was a she. She's like, well, first off, good luck. Because she's like, he has to call me, and he calls me because he doesn't have a phone that I can get in touch with. So he calls me every so often, and if I'm not here, I probably won't talk to him for another 3 to 4 weeks. She's like, so I have to be here. She's like, also, you're only offering $100,000. He's not going to do that for that much. So basically, it came down to Brian Cox read the script and really loved it. So he said, yeah, I'll do it. And I guess Bill Murray eventually did get in touch with it and was like, I'm not doing it for that much. I'm not doing it for $100,000.
Yeah.
But I just thought that was funny that she's like, because the stories is always like, he's impossible to get a hold of. And she's like, yeah, if I'm not here, I'm not going to hear him. He's not going to call back for 3 more weeks. So.
Yet he went and did Garfield.
Well, he needed a new house.
Yeah. The old Michael Caine analogy.
Yes, Michael Caine.
No.
The reason he did Garfield was because it was being directed by, was it Joel Cohen?
Mm-hmm.
Just not the Joel Cohen of Cohen Brothers. And he didn't realize that when he agreed to it.
I would love to see a Garfield film directed by the Cohen Brothers. Let's do this. Let's make this happen. No? Nothing. Okay.
No, I'm thinking.
It could be.
I was thinking. What's this thing? I did Eraserhead.
Lynch.
Yeah, David Lynch, like the guy who directed Den. Yeah, like let's get David Lynch as Garfield.
I like this. Michael Bay, exploding lasagna. It'd be awesome. Brian, anything else you watch? I don't want to cut you off.
Thank you for asking, Jason.
You're welcome.
I did also start on Apple TV, Presumed Innocent.
Mm-hmm. Jake Gyllenhaal, right?
Yeah.
And?
I've heard that's very good.
It's possibly the best show I've seen this year.
Wow.
Come back for a second season with a all new cast, supposedly.
Yeah, so that's it's based on a series of books.
Okay.
So there are multiple books in the series, obviously. That's the definition of a series, multiples. But yeah, and we're only 5 episodes in, and it's quite possibly the best show I've seen this year.
Did you ever see, speaking of Apple, Brian, did you ever watch Fatal Attraction on Apple?
No.
That was another one that got decent reviews, and they canceled it. They're not bringing it back. And I started it. It was with Joshua Jackson, and I love a good Pacey from Dawson's Creek, but it was tough to get through. So I was just thinking, because the whole idea is that he's innocent in it, so that's why it just made me think of that with the presumed innocent. So I didn't know if you ever saw that. I know you're a big Apple guy, so I didn't know if you ever got a chance to see it.
No, I didn't get to see it because it was on Paramount Plus, not Apple.
Son of a bitch, really?
Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, I was sitting here thinking, I'm like, man, I don't remember that being on Apple. I was trying to play it out in my head.
Oh, I stand correct. I sit corrected.
That's why I didn't see it on Apple.
Thanks, Brian. Thanks.
You're welcome.
Thanks.
Did you see it on Paramount Plus?
No.
He did see it on Paramount Plus.
Yeah.
Speaking of Paramount Plus, I finished season 3 of Mayor of Kingstown.
Coming back for a 4th.
I just saw that. I'm very excited. That's in the running for probably one of my favorite shows of the year, too.
Brian, you need to start writing these down for the Floppy Award season.
Okay.
Gotta get some of those out there for the best series.
Yeah, that. I've always been a fan of that show from the beginning, but it consistently gets better each season.
Gotcha.
And him just coming back and playing that part so well, after almost dying, is incredible to me.
Did they mention anything in the show about him?
They didn't. Nothing.
Okay, I didn't know if it was obviously not. From
no, he wasn't he showed no effects of it on screen. He wasn't limping or you know what I mean. They just there was no attention drawn to it whatsoever.
Gotcha. Just every time the snowblower turned on, he cried. Sorry, Jeremy. Anything else you watch, Brian?
And much of that beautiful scenery was right here in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania.
I thought it was filmed in Pittsburgh.
It was, yeah.
Nothing else, Brian?
What was filmed in Pittsburgh?
Season 3 of The Mayor of Kingstown.
Yeah, I thought the whole series was filmed there. But
it might have been. I know they made a big deal out of it this year. That I guess because he came back and it was refilmed. It was filmed here.
Yeah.
Pictures of Jeremy Renner at Kennywood with his kids and shit like that. So, it was Renner mania here in Pittsburgh in this spring and early summer.
Speaking of filming in Pittsburgh, pull of the week at Bad Ideas Podcast.
Nice segue.
That's what I was trying for there.
I like it, Sean.
Jason on.
This is why we're going to have our own podcast, Sean. In honor of Pittsburgh Nerd guesting on this week's episode of Hobie, what is the best movie filmed in Pittsburgh? We have The Dark Knight Rises, Slapshot.
Was not filmed in Pittsburgh. I was filmed in Johnstown, Pennsylvania.
Yeah.
Internet lied. Then you're really not going to like the results. Night of the Living Dead and Silence of the Lambs. Winning. Oh, sorry. Last place, Dark Knight and Night of the Living Dead. How dare you people? Dark Knight Rises.
Wow.
And winning 50 to 36%, slapshot over Silence of the Lambs.
So Silence of the Lambs actually won.
Yeah, because I guess it doesn't count, does it?
Yeah.
Damn it.
And that is
Well,
probably the
and
best
you left
movie
off
that was
some of the
filmed in
bet-
Pittsburgh.
The fish that
What was
saved
that?
Pittsburgh?
I mean, some of the better films. I mean, you got one of Brian's all-time favorite series
What's that?
of Jack Reacher.
Yep.
That's a series, though. That's not a movie.
Yeah, it
The
is.
first movie.
The
Oh,
movie.
was it?
Movie.
Pittsburgh.
With Tom
The
Cruise.
Tom
was
Cruise
filmed-
Jack
yeah,
Creatures.
Tom Cruise.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. Sorry.
And then there's the great Bruce Willis vehicle, Striking Distance.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
I've seen filming of that. I was around. In fact, they filmed quite a bit of it in the river near where I live.
Nice.
The Taylor Lautner film Abduction with Sigourney Weaver takes place at PNC Ballpark.
Yes. Yeah, that was filmed in and around town. There was a
That was a horrible film.
So what Sophie's Choice, I think, was filmed in Pittsburgh.
Um,
Wow.
Yeah. It was like,
Sudden
Obviously
Death.
not taking place in Pittsburgh.
no. There are a few that do that though. Like
Yeah.
the Nicholson, the guy, the labor union guy that was corrupt.
Hoffa. Jimmy Hoffa.
Yeah, Hoffa. Yeah, the Nicholson with Danny DeVito movie that was filmed in Pittsburgh, but none of it takes place in Pittsburgh. Like they use Pittsburgh as a backdrop for New York City.
Yeah.
New
we
York
get that
City.
here in Cincinnati too, where they say, "Oh, we got architecture that looks like it's from the bad parts of New York without actually being in the bad parts of New York."
Right. Yeah.
Cincinnati pride there. Hey, at least we're not Toledo or Cleveland. Let's see. Brian, I don't want to interrupt you, interrupt anything, but would you like to do listener feedback?
Absolutely.
Go
I
right
would-
ahead,
I
sir.
would love to, but I crinkle paper, that thing that we do.
Mm-hmm.
Let me get this pulled up here. Listener feedback sponsored by Hello Jeff. Jeff, what do we got this week?
This week we have yellow food.
Yellow food. Okay.
So, like lemons
Ooh,
and bananas. Peach.
lemon
and-
heads.
Well, definitely lemon heads.
Okay.
Matter of fact, lemon heads are what the instead of packing peanuts, it's all put in lemon heads.
I like it.
Do you
Yeah,
have full
yeah.
lemons, like whole lemons? Because I do love a good lemon.
Oh yeah,
Okay.
whole lemons, egg yolks. You got egg yolks in there.
Loose? Yep. I like it.
Some of them already boiled. Some of them still raw.
Oh, God. I just picture opening up the lemon head, moving the lemon head popcorn or pop packing stuff, and like grabbing a yolk. Thanks.
It's a
There's
package
butter
of
and honey in
salmonella.
there too. So
Oh, that sounds amazing, Jeff.
Yeah.
I'm sure
I
the
can't
hopefully the butter doesn't melt. So
I like the egg yolk and butter on lemon heads. I'm sure that's going to taste great. Ugh.
Sounds very fresh. Like it should be like like you should mix it with some pasta.
Ooh,
not included, but yes, you're right.
Yeah.
you should.
Yeah. We just give you the ingredients and you gotta do the work.
Yeah.
I mean, the egg yolks could be used to make pasta. You know,
Correct.
Just
It's a binding. It's a binder.
you just have to supply your own flour, and you can make great pasta.
There we go.
Go
All right,
to
start off listener feedback with that one guy,
number one fan.
8 pans,
Can't give yourself a
the
nickname.
jewel of the licking,
7,
Beaver hands,
beaver hip,
beaver tail, 8
screwdriver,
Oh yeah, screwdriver. Sunny D,
chili Billy,
Postman.
Dunkaroo Doug,
Oh, that's a good one. Horse God, Minotaur.
I wouldn't go horse god, but
Horse Rich.
Feeble Menace.
Horse Rich.
there we go.
There you go.
Dad, I think.
Oh, okay.
I don't know. I'm still mad about Vacation, so it's Doug. Yeah, it's just Doug.
Oh, Doug! Oh.
All I ever wanted, Vacation. I'm sorry. I thought I was muted.
Oh, I don't know. I was enjoying it.
Yeah.
Better than listen to Jason sing.
Michael Caine.
Stop it.
Sorry.
So Doug says that the Arizona Cardinals unveiled a cotton candy burrito at their football stadium. It is candy and cereal wrapped in a cotton candy burrito. Could be good. Thoughts?
Well, I'm a
good.
huge Arizona Cardinals fan, so I guess anything to
Huge.
just anything to keep your attention away from the playing field, I guess, is better than watching them.
I mean,
do you think that?
What's that, Brian?
Do you think that they did this because their quarterback's like 8 years old?
Yes. Yes.
And he keeps spraining his wrist playing his video games.
I don't think it's fair you put that in the contract. I have to study the playbook. Well, then fucking study the playbook, Kyler.
I mean, I'm reading this here that Doug asks, and I see candy and cereal and cotton candy, and I'm not seeing a problem.
The burrito is blue. And it's not even a burrito. It's just made of cotton candy, like wrapped tight.
Yes.
And it looks disgusting.
I mean, I haven't seen it, although I have seen someplace with pumpkin pie tacos.
Oh.
Those look really good.
Oh. God.
I'm interested.
No.
Well, it's like the cinnamon sugar encrusted shell with pumpkin pie filling and whipped cream in the shape of a taco.
Listen up, boys. Listen up.
It looked beautiful. How you can't hate pumpkin pie, Jason.
We have too much food in our studios that we can't go rogue here. Okay, we need to finish this food off first. Then we can get other
I just
food.
assumed that your kids would eat it all.
No, I did tell my kids, do not touch the food.
Yeah, you tell them that now.
And then
when
in
it's
2
all like the
weeks,
Korean stuff in there.
I'll be honest,
I'm allergic to half of it.
None of my kids are eating honey pickled plums. Okay.
No, but they sure
Those
love Jolly
seem to be the
Ranchers
best
and
thing-
caramel creams.
the honey pickled plums seem to be the best thing we have in there. So let's not dog those.
Oh God, no. I am tempted to open up this strawberry Kit Kat, but I'm not. I'm waiting for you guys. And then Sakura and roasted soybean powder. Not sure about that one. So,
Is the one Kit Kat we saved for Jim still in there?
yeah, where'd you put it?
In the candy jar.
pumpkin.
In the pumpkin.
Oh,
empty one.
What's that?
the pumpkin or the other candy jar?
Yeah, it's in there. It's in there.
Okay.
I put your Aquaman's seahorse on top of it to protect it.
Gotcha. Oh, yeah, they won't get anywhere near that with the seahorse protecting it.
Yeah. So, what else you got, Brian?
There you go, Doug. Those are our thoughts. Let's see. From Sleeveless Jones. Who are you most excited for at the Cincinnati Comic Expo? I'll be there working again.
October 18th through the 20th at Cincinnati, or at Sharonville Convention Center. Sean from Pittsburgh Nerd is coming down to visit.
I heard the rumor.
That's just a rumor. I would not confirm that or deny that.
Sean, you could meet
it's
some
not
good celebs.
denied.
Yep, it's not denied. You can meet some good celebs.
Chuck Norris.
Yeah.
Chuck Norris. Now, that'll be my answer. Chuck Norris being there. A little disappointed he's not doing a pan.
Unfortunately, I wasn't able to go to the Steel City Con this past weekend where we did have Chris Jericho, AEW World Heavyweight Champion Swerve Strickland,
Love
and
Swerve.
AEW legend Dr. Britt Baker, DMD, all making appearances, along with many other of your favorite celebrities.
Sean, you didn't do
Yes.
Britt Baker right. DMD.
MD. I apologize.
Yes.
I apologize.
She's a peach.
Yeah. So no, I already missed my brush with fame this past weekend. So I'm sure I'm always amazed at the quality of celebrity you guys get down there at the Cincinnati Comic Expo. It's always an impressive lineup.
Ming Na Wen. I'm excited about her. I'll be doing her panel, so I'll be talking to her.
Nice.
So,
Katie Sackhoff.
Yeah, Katie Sackhoff. I think Brad. Hi, I'm Brad. Is doing that panel. So
If I'm not there, and I probably won't be, please tell Katie Sackhoff I send my love.
I will. Even if you showed up, though, you would show up longer than Blake has in the last 3 years. I'm just saying, if you come down, you might beat Blake. Just saying.
Blake did a day last year.
Oh, that's right. He did.
Give credit where credit's due.
That's true.
Yeah,
That's true.
he put in a full day.
And Blake does a great job when he's there. It's just not as long as it's not on his anniversary.
He's a man of the people.
He is. But Sean, seriously, if you want to come down, let me know.
Mm-hmm.
Let me know. So we're up in Sharonville, so it's 30 minutes closer to you than Cincinnati is. Just letting you know.
Oh, okay. Well, that is good to know because I mean it's already a
3.5
nice
hour
little
drive.
3.5 hour drive. Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah,
See if my Kia Soul can make that.
just fly in. Just fly. Let's see here. Yeah. So yeah, I'm excited about Ming Na Wen. Who did you say, Brian? Who are you excited?
Personally, right now, I'm gonna have to say Kevin Eastman.
Oh, yeah.
You know,
He was just in Pittsburgh this past weekend.
Was
one
he?
of the many. Yes, one of the many. Your favorite celebrities who were in town.
I will say Kevin Eastman, like he's a very big name, creator of Ninja Turtles and that. But like, I think he's been overshadowed by by people this year. I think people forgot because he was one of the first ones announced, and he's going to be a great guest. I'm excited about him.
Well, it should be up to us to remind him. Kevin
Yes.
Eastman, you want to go? You got to see co-creator of the Turtles.
Yep.
And,
I mean that is your
the
job as the
original
ambassadors.
Turtles.
It is our job, actually.
As the ambassadors, the worldwide ambassadors to this expo, that should be part of your job description to remind
I think it is
people of
actually
Kevin
in our
Eastman.
job description. Damn it.
I mean, the original comic book run of the Turtles was excellent.
Yeah.
Yes.
I mean, if you love, we just talked about this on our show, like the like going back to they were trying to recreate like the Frank Miller Daredevil run with the Ninja Turtles. Like that's amazing to even think about. Like that was their inspiration. So if you like that type of stuff, then
Did you read Ronin, Sean?
I did not. I've always wanted to, and I've just never gotten around to it.
Very well done. Just finished it. Really
Yeah.
good. They're making a movie of it.
Yeah, I
A
saw
live
they were
action.
doing it. Yeah, and I thought that's amazing.
Yeah. Really well done. And just, it was a very, because Eastman had a part in it. Like
Yeah.
so you could tell like it was very similar to their original run. So if you're a Turtles fan, Ronin is very highly recommended. What else you got, Brian?
Let's see here. Next up from Nipsey Logan at Logan 35 Nips.
35 nipples?
He says, "Who does Sean like the most from Hobie?"
We're intrigued on this one, Sean.
See, this is not a fair question. Now, I'm going to limit my answer to the OG3 of Blake, Jeff, and Jason. Brian, you're fine people, and many of the other cast of characters that come through your show, I do enjoy. But I'm just going to stick to the original three, and I will say this: Blake. I mean, I like Blake. Good people, man of the people, serve this country. I think he's the guy that, like, if we were at a party, like, we would be friendly with each other, but at the end of it, we'd be like, that guy was a real dick. Like, we'd both, like, walk away, like, feeling that way about each other. Jeff, I feel like we could hang out. Like, it would be like, hey, Sean, come on over. We'll order pizza. We'll have a couple of beers. Watch a football game or something. Like, I could hang out with Jeff and we could just chill, and that would be that. And I enjoy.
Thank you.
Well, no, my pleasure. And Jason, I feel like I could also hang out with, but it wouldn't be like, let's order a pizza and have some beer. It would be more along the lines of like an intense conversation about like 1985, world class wrestling from Jim Crockett Promotions and where Dusty went wrong, or it would be something like that. Like, it would be like that kind of a conversation. So I would enjoy all three, but I feel like Blake would be the one guy who would be like at the end of the night, they'd be like, "Yeah, I don't like him. I just want to invite him back."
I mean, that's a pretty similar feeling to me most Tuesday nights at about 10:30.
But I do like Blake. I like listening to Blake. He's entertaining. He has some interesting insights. Sometimes I'm like, what the fuck is this guy thinking? But I like Blake a lot, and I hate he's probably gonna listen to this and be like,
no, he's not.
Like Ward will get back to him and like that fucking Sean. Let me tell you something about that fat fuck from Pitt, And I don't mean to make it sound like I just feel like he's the one guy that like our personalities just wouldn't mesh. Even I would probably talk about Dungeons and Dragons, like first edition Dungeons and Dragons for an hour. So there you go. That's how I feel. I'm just going to limit it to that. There's no one I like the most or the least, but that's where I'm at with the original Hobie gang.
Just to let you guys know, Hobie has a side project coming up where Sean and I talk about 1985 about world class wrestling and where Dusty goes wrong. Be waiting for that one.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, but also wait for that one where Blake runs Dungeons and Dragons for Sean.
Oh jeez.
and other guests. That'll be a fun project.
Can I be in on that one?
Yes.
I have my character, Lee Iacocca. He makes stagecoaches.
It has to be first edition Dungeons and Dragons. Like I can't,
No, we gotta do fourth edition just to piss Blake off.
Oh.
Did you know he doesn't like the fourth edition?
I did know that. Yes, I'm sure he went to Gen Con this past week and made that well known.
He has a shirt.
Who would listen?
He has a shirt.
Fourth edition sucks.
But he doesn't remember who's. Hey, do I know you? Read your emails, Blake.
Yeah.
I know nothing about Dungeons and Dragons except me and Brian beating it, and I'll be honest.
Again, that's Frogger.
Whatever.
Yeah, you can't beat Dungeons and Dragons. It's
we did.
That's what you think.
Hey, Brian, did you slay the dragon?
Yeah.
Found the key to the dungeon. Done.
Yeah. We're done.
Yeah. We beat it. We were both level 1 orcs.
much like Cody Rhodes after slaying the dragon of Roman Reigns. The story does continue.
No, it doesn't. We brought peace to the land.
We've looked. Trust me. we went searching.
But
there are no more dragons or dungeons left for us to conquer.
We made it into a strip mall. Yeah, my thing is I know nothing about Dungeons and Dragons, and my God, if I have to hear Blake bitch about 4th edition one more time, I may jump out of a building. Blake, we get it. You don't like 4th edition. I don't even know what 4th edition is, and I hate it because of this. So, good old Blake. We love him. If you want to listen to Blake joining our show, listen to his first appearance on episode 18. Don't listen to episodes before that, though. It was kind of rough. Anyways, what else you got, Brian?
Sean, if it makes you feel any better or worse about Blake, he did want us to tell you that you actually don't live in Pittsburgh. You actually just live in northern West Virginia.
He did say that.
I don't know if that changes the way you feel about him at all, but
yeah, he can go fuck himself.
There we go.
I will personally be sending him a bag of dicks.
All right. There you go, Nipsey Logan.
There you go. Yeah.
Let's see. Next up, we have the Pop Culture Cafe at TPC Cafe _EH. You threatened to sue me last week. I live in Canada. You cannot sue me. So choke on all the wingless chicken bones you want.
I do know
northern Michigan.
From a professional standpoint, we and my job in that you can sue people in Canada. It just takes about 15 years for it to resolve. So
Yeah, we're playing the long game here.
yeah, I'm fine with that. I know some attorneys in Canada. Let's do this.
No, I don't remember the reasons for the threat of suing.
I think it was because of some of the food they sent us. We were a little
Oh,
afraid
okay.
because they sent us a great pile of food, and we do appreciate that.
Of course.
So we just
And
want
we
to make
talking
sure.
about suing them for sending us food?
I think it was
What
the
are we
bad food.
thinking?
I think it was the plums.
We didn't even eat the plums
We
yet.
didn't
The
even
plums
eat
sound
those.
tasty. Come on.
Honey pickled plum. It looks awful.
Well, let's just blame Blake.
Like, that's a good call.
Because, I mean, yeah, I'm sure he said something about Canada and the chicken wings and whatever.
If anybody would like to send a bag of dicks to us, I can just let me know. DM me at Bad Ideas Podcast.
Email us at hobiepod@gmail.com.
Yeah, because it gets checked now. Good job, Brian.
Sure does. Let's see here.
Because
We
it
did
hasn't
have
been
a
checked for 2.5 years. I mean, I don't
Yeah, I finally went and cleared out a lot of that, spam. Tidied that up a little bit in there.
We had a lot.
Yeah. Let's see. We did have a correction from last week's show from Doug. Doug says the ridiculous Jamar Chase trade scenario to the Minnesota Vikings came from FanDuel. Not surprising.
Sean, did you see this great trade of trading Jamar Chase to Minnesota?
For a first round, a second round, and Jordan Addison.
Yes.
That
I'll
was
be honest. If the Bengals would be able to pull the trigger on that trade, they'd be in a good position.
Oh, yeah.
Like that fave, like if Minnesota, like that is almost as bad as the Herschel Walker trade. If it was really offering that.
I just like that it's not even like 2 number 1 picks, right? Like, what the fuck? Like, it's a horrible trade.
Honestly, I think the reason why they want him is because he's only making like $1.5 million, and they just had to pay Justin Jefferson, so he would be a cheap receiver. Jordan Addison's probably making more than Jamar Chase, to be honest.
Probably not, because I mean, last year was his rookie season, and he was a second round draft pick for Minnesota.
Oh yeah, that's right.
So I mean, that's what I'm saying. Like, he's a pretty good receiver. He played a couple years here at Pitt. His sophomore year was his the Kenny Pickett winning the ACC year, and he was pretty good at Pitt, and then he went to Southern Cal where he got wasted. And
Literally,
he did, and he had a good season last year in Minnesota despite all the quarterback problems. He really stepped up. If you watch the receiver documentary on Netflix, he seemed to kind of like step up a little bit for them. So I feel like that would be a good trade because for the Bengals, it solves the problem of Jamar Chase, like because they're too cheap to pay everybody, and you get a young receiver back that Joe Burrow can use plus draft picks. Like, I mean, like to me, like since that makes so much sense from a Cincinnati standpoint that they would do that.
Sean, would you be saying this just because you don't want to face Jamar Chase?
No, not at all. Like,
Okay.
This is what I'm going to tell you. This is the God's honest truth. It pains me that Cincinnati has Joe Burrow because Joe Burrow is that good. Like, Joe Burrow to me is the second best quarterback in the NFL behind only Patrick Mahomes.
What about Justin
as
Fields?
long as Tony, don't. We're not going to get okay. Like, Joe Burrow is that good. Like, as long as Cincinnati has Joe Burrow, they are always going to have a chance to win the division and maybe even a playoff game or two.
Oh,
like he scared. Like, he honestly does scare me. Like, he scares me more than anybody else other than I said, like Patrick Mahomes. Like, he's just that damn good. So you could put like an Addison around him, and he's still going to, like, that offense is still going to click. Like, he could make it work with mediocre receivers,
like Tom Brady,
or like Patrick Mahomes.
Yeah,
like it pains me that that's the guy that Cincinnati has, and I'm more afraid of him than I am of any other quarterback in the AFC North.
Jordan Addison makes $999,170, but his cap hit is $3.1 million because of signing bonus and all that stuff.
But still, compare that to Chase and what you'd have to pay Chase, especially in this wide receiver market now.
Oh, he's going to get $40 million a year,
right? And I'm dealing with that right now because, like, the Steelers are in this. Are we going to get Brandon Ayuk or aren't we going to get Brandon Ayuk?
Yeah.
And like, well, if you get Brandon Ayuk, you're going to have to pay him $40 million.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And then, and he'd be great opposite George Pickens. But here in Pittsburgh, like, the question has to be like, okay, who the fuck is throwing him the ball? Not even this year, but next year.
Kenny Pickett's
in Philadelphia.
Oh, my bad.
So, like, it becomes that question of like, do you re-sign Justin Fields? Can you sign him to a reasonable contract? And
correct.
God knows I don't want that to happen. I've already lived through this. It was called Cordell Stewart. I don't want to live through another quarterback like that again.
Sean, I do feel bad for you guys. I really do.
You know what? I'm going to say this, and you guys are going to take this like, well, he's just being a dick. But after 17 years of greatness at the quarterback position, we forget what it was like beforehand, going through the David Woodleys and the Bubby Bristers and the Neil O'Donnells and
Tommy Maddox.
Tommy Maddox and Kent Graham. Like, people forget the wasteland this was between Terry Bradshaw and Ben Roethlisberger. And we're just, right now, we're only up to Mark Malone.
I'm just saying, Tommy Maddox, XFL MVP, and that's a tease for the top 5. Just saying.
Ooh.
So,
I will say, Sean, we did feel the Neil O'Donnell pain. He came here after having a decent year in Pittsburgh. The Bengals overpaid to bring him here. That wasn't a fun season.
To be fair, he averaged 2.1 average yards per pass, so that was good.
I thought he went to the Jets first.
Oh, he may have gone to the Jets
first.
Yeah,
he didn't have a good year with them. I don't know.
No, I think he spent 2 or 3 years with the Jets, and then he went to Cincinnati, and like that was between like I can't even remember. You guys have had so many bad quarterbacks.
Was that after Achilles Smith?
That's what I was thinking. Like after Achilles Smith, yeah.
Yeah.
Achilles Smith was like 2001, I think.
Probably between Smith and Kitna or something.
Kitna, yeah.
Yeah.
Kitna was great by our standards at that time. What else you got here, Brian? What else?
Wrapping it up, Professor Number 1 at Dr. Number 1. Mickey Rooney used to have a restaurant called Mickey Rooney's Potato Fantasy. What is your potato fantasy?
Anyone?
Oh, I mean, we here in Pittsburgh live the potato fantasy. We had the potato patch fries at the at Kennywood. You just go there, and I mean, the fresh cut fries are delicious. You get a little cheese on there. Thad, for some reason, gets gravy on his in the middle of a hot summer day. I don't know how that works, but they're delicious. A good potato patch fries is a Pittsburgh potato fantasy, and then you also throw in at Pittsburgh, we throw fries on everything. If it's a salad, it gets fries. If it's a sandwich, it gets fries. That's just how we roll here. So Pittsburgh is a potato fantasy.
I would say waffle fries with cheese. Greatest thing ever. Love it.
I mean, Sean was kind of hitting the potato fantasy. I mean, he was close to describing poutine.
Oh.
Yeah. Well, first off, poutine. There is a place in town here. It's called Big Rig's Barbecue, and they will occasionally do like specials of the week or something. And they do a brisket poutine that is phenomenal. Oh, it's amazing, Jeff. I can't it's so good. I would drink that out of a bathtub. That gravy is so good.
Oh, now I'm being jealous over here.
Brian, what's your potato fantasy?
Pleasant Ridge chili gravy cheese fries.
Ooh, okay. Very, very close to poutine as well. Okay.
Yeah.
I will do News of the Geek. Jeff, give me some News of the Geek music.
Da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. It's time for another episode of News of the Geek. Is that good enough?
Yeah, that's good. We're going to get some corrections on this from Doug. Per CNBC.com and everything else going on out there, Disney announced at D23 some of their great, I guess, things coming to Disney World, Disneyland, Paris, and to the movie theaters.
A lot of good rides coming, I bet.
Great rides.
Well, when you have Doug Brigger's money, you can afford to do this.
That's true.
Good point.
He is rich horse. Horse rich.
He's rich horse? What?
I don't even know what that means.
I think he's a country singer, right?
No, that's big and rich.
Oh, my bad. A villain land is being added to Magic Kingdom, which will include 2 major attractions as well as shopping and dining. So they see Epic Universe's Monsterland said, hey, we got a lot of villains. We're going to make a land about them. Part of Frontierland in Walt Disney World is being rethemed as Cars Land. They're getting rid of like some of the river with the boats and all that stuff. I don't know. People are mad.
Well, the simple fact of the matter is, this day and age, nobody cares about the whole frontier-ness that they did in the 50s.
Tom Sawyer Land, they're getting rid of Island.
Yeah, the whole like Davy Crockett feel of the 50s that everybody loved is, nobody cares anymore. It's 70 years later.
It is funny to see people getting all upset. And like people were like, this is a classic. It's been around for 65 years and all that. And people respond to these people, the people complaining. And they're like, yeah, and you haven't been to this area in 25 years. It's fine.
Yeah. When was the last time you were here? Yeah.
Yes.
Thank you.
Let's see.
If that part of the park is empty, then I'm sure Disney's like, well, what can we do to fix this?
Well, true. I mean, it just makes sense, though. Like,
yeah,
you got to have an area that people want to go to. Otherwise, it's just sitting there, which I get. You know, there is some, you got to respect the history in that. But at the same time, if no one's going to it, when do you make that choice to change it?
If nobody's ordering it, you take it off the menu.
The best is that all the Disney fanatics were like, this is ridiculous. Universal has the Epic universe coming out. What are Disney going to do? And then Disney releases what they're going to do. They're like, this fucking bullshit. This sucks. It's like, okay, calm down, people. Don't go. Let's see here. Hollywood Studios, also Cars Land is going to be different than the one in Disneyland. Monsters, Inc.
Ooh.
Monsters, Inc. Is going to be a big section of Hollywood Studios. They're building a whole city around it, like a small little, city front.
Monstropolis?
Yes. They're, one of the rides is based on the doors that they cling to in the end of the first movie in that factory to go through. It's going to be a roller coaster.
And not about Jim Morrison?
No, he's going to be singing.
Oh, okay.
He looks like Frankie Valance right now. Animal Kingdom is adding Tropical America Land, set to open in 2027, and will feature an Indiana Jones attraction set inside a Mayan temple. As part of the Tropical America Land, Disney is creating Pueblo Esperanza, I think, which means Village of Hope.
Esperanza.
There you go. They are building the Casita Madrigal, whatever.
Madrigal.
Thank you, from Encanto. They will have an attraction centered on the character Antonio, who has the magical gifts to talk to animals. The best news is that they're getting rid of fucking Dinosaur the ride, which is the most awful ride ever. So there you go. The world of Avatar is making its way to Disney's California Adventure, take inspiration from the second film, The Way of Shit, and will feature a new attraction. Disneyland will open a Coco attraction that will follow Miguel through the land of the dead. They said it's mixed. It's going to be like Jungle Cruise mixed with Pirates of the Caribbean. So there you go. Avengers Campus in Disneyland will double in size with the addition of 2 new attractions. First is called Avengers Infinity Defense, which will take guests on an adventure to stop King Thanos from using stolen portal technology. Riders will help defend iconic locations like Asgard, Wakanda, and New York City. The second attraction is Stark Flight Lab, where guests learn how to fly like a superhero. Construction starts next year. Best part about this is King Thanos, like they showed a picture of him going into D23, and everybody's like, oh my God, they're bringing Thanos back to the MCU. And they're like, no, it's actually just for a ride. Sorry.
Just for the parks. Don't worry about it.
Dwayne Johnson is not only starring in the animated Moana 2, he's in the live action Moana. And he's also continuing his running work on Disney projects to create a Monster Jam live action movie. I guess that's about the cars? I don't know.
I'm sure the final boss will have everything in place for us. I trust the final boss.
Do you?
I do, yes.
Jon Favreau and David Filoni teased the May 2026 Star Wars film The Mandalorian and Grogu, which they just started filming. Star Wars Skeleton Crew will be coming to Disney in December. That looks like a very Goonies type film. Like it's more kid oriented, but it looks fun. We'll see how it goes.
Yeah, my first thought was it felt like an Amblin show.
Yes.
Like that old school Amblin, Goonies, Gremlins, all that stuff that like Spielberg used to do in the 80s. That was kind of like kid friendly, but a little adultish as well. Like I had a good feel for that.
I did too. I don't think it's going to blow anybody away, but I think it will be fun.
Yeah.
Jason, you hated the Goonies.
I did hate the Goonies. It's fucking horrible. Zootopia 2
But you're going to like this when you say it reminds you of Goonies.
Because it has lightsabers.
So if the Goonies had lightsabers, it would have been better.
Yes.
If One-Eyed Pete had a lightsaber waiting for him at the end, that would increase the movie tenfold.
The Incredibles 3 is coming. Toy Story 5 is coming. Moana 2 is coming. Zootopia 2 is coming. Frozen 3 is coming. I don't know, whatever. So, Daredevil.
We really need a fifth Toy Story movie. Can we just put that franchise to bed?
I agree. It's them versus technology, like the iPads, and that is what the preview is.
I mean, at least that they're keeping up to date with the current struggles of children.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
I get that aspect of it. At the same time, like Toy Story 3 was so damn good.
Yes.
And it was like the perfect ending to that franchise. And then they just kind of like, well, how can we make more money off of this?
Toy Story 4 is not good.
Let's make Forky.
Yeah.
Fucking Forky. Well, the reason why they keep making Cars is, and they're doing Cars Land
People need to drive.
What's that?
People need to drive.
That's right.
Yeah.
I meant Cars and Disney, Brian. Sorry. Is that they
people don't need to drive. We just need to make a better mass transit system.
Anyways, because Disney makes anywhere between $500 million and $1 billion in merchandise every year on Cars.
Oh, I know. My nephew is 11. He has an absolute fascination with the Cars franchise, and like anything that comes out Cars, he has to have.
Yeah, I mean it's unreal how much they make off that. Something good, Daredevil Born Again is set to start streaming in March, and a second season is on its way. Punisher is in it.
Cannot wait. They went from only having like one or two original cast members from the Netflix they got everybody back.
I'm looking forward to it. I may or may not have seen that trailer somehow, and it looks amazing.
They did get Deborah Ann Wool back?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
Last I heard, she had not been attached to it. So.
Yeah. They did I saw like a photo shoot from D23 of the Daredevil thing, and they have all of the original cast back.
And finally, Jamie Lee Curtis and Lindsay Lohan are making a sequel to Freaky Friday called Freakier Friday.
Cool. And then the third one will be Freakiest Friday?
I guess. Sure. Per comicbookmovie.com, where Brian gets all of his news from, Glenn Powell is set to play Ben Richards in Paramount Pictures and Edgar Wright's gestating. Thank you. Adaptation of Stephen King's The Running Man. According to reliable insider Daniel Rickman. Sydney Sweeney Sweeney Todd. Sydney is being eyed to play a undisclosed role. Sweeney is fast becoming one of the most sought-after young actors in Hollywood and is set to play the title role in another upcoming Edgar Wright sci-fi adaptation, Barbarella. Wright was first announced as director back in 2001. Updates have been scarce, but at CinemaCon, not as good as Cincinnati Comic Expo, back in April, they announced that Powell has signed on. Let's see here. It was based on a Stephen King book he used under his pseudonym, Richard Bachman. And it was a 1987 movie starring Arnold Schwarzenegger. I told you I'll be back.
Only in a rerun.
I love the Running Man movie. Let's see here. King's book is a dystopian thriller set in the United States during the year 2025. Wait a minute. When the nation's economy is in ruins. Wait a minute. And world violence is an all-time high. What the fuck's going on here?
Is this a movie or is this reality?
It's a, what do you call it? Documentary. It's fine.
Yeah.
Desperate to earn enough money to save his family, protagonist Ben Richards decides to participate in a popular, incredibly dangerous game show called The Running Man, which allows contestants to go anywhere in the world while being hunted down by a team of trained killers. So there you go. Sure, why not? Let's do this again. So, and it's Glenn Powell. He's dreamy. So, Jeff, let me help you out here. Box office news.
Thanks.
You're welcome.
Box office bombs. Hey, everybody. Lionsgate. Yeah, they put out Borderlands. Did not do well. Landed with a thud at number 4. The Eli Roth directed adaptation of the hit video game franchise grossed $8.8 million. Below the $10 million they were afraid they were going to make. Unmitigated disaster, words used according to 411 Mania. It failed to deliver on the fan favorite property despite spending big on it. It cost a reported $120 million.
That's not good.
The Borderlands' long and troubled road to the big screen could have been a warning sign, and it certainly hurt expectations around the movie. A ton of production delays and heavy reshoots gave the film a negative buzz that it was never able to shake, and Lionsgate didn't exactly give it all in their promotion either.
This is the worst part, Jeff. This is the worst.
There's also the factor that by every metric, the film seems to be awful. It is rocking an abysmal 9% aggregate rating on Rotten Tomatoes, and word of mouth is just as bad with a D+ on CinemaScore.
I have never seen a D+ on CinemaScore as long as we've been doing this podcast, Jeff.
That's tough.
I wonder how badly it was affected by how good Fallout was.
I think that probably plays a part of it. People expect something, like if they're video game lovers. I mean, no offense, look at Halo. That got 2 seasons, and a lot of people didn't like it because it's such a beloved franchise, and I think that's a big factor. And I know nothing about Borderlands, and I had no desire to see it.
Well, that's because you knew nothing about it.
Correct.
Now you can go watch it, and then you'll know something about it.
That's true. But I think, Sean, you're right. I think people have an expectation, if they love it, that they've seen good quality video game movies, that they're like, this looks like shit.
But also, Borderlands is kind of in the same vein as Fallout. Like, it's a post-apocalyptic future, and you know, it's a much different game, but it's still in like that same genre.
Yeah.
And so when you release two things from the same genre around the same time, and especially with as good as Fallout was, like when I saw the trailers for Borderlands, I was like, this looks fucking awful.
But Kevin Hart's in it.
That doesn't help. That you know, Cat Williams has told me he's not trustworthy.
Yeah, that's right.
So, I mean, like I wonder if like part of the bombing of this movie is like people kind of looked at it and had an expectation set by Fallout. Mm-hmm. As good as Fallout was and as well done as Fallout was, this does not look like it is following in those footsteps, and so because of that, I'm not even willing to give it a chance.
I didn't even know Eli Roth directed it.
I heard a comparison that they were saying we are back in the days of the Super Mario Brothers movies from the Bob Hoskins.
Now I kind of want to see it. Just to see how bad it is.
Like I'm at a point. Like, I mean, there's always that rumor like we're going to do a Metal Gear Solid movie, and there's a part of me is like, oh, I'd love to see that. Like that would be amazing. And there's a part of me is like, I don't want to see them fuck it up that bad.
Yeah, I mean, even Twisted Metal was really good. I enjoyed Twisted Metal. The series.
Twisted Metal was done very good. I enjoyed the hell out of that.
But it is very similar. I do agree with you. Like, Borderlands, Twisted Metal, Fallout. They all are similar type of video games. I know that they're different, but post-apocalyptic, they're weird, they have crazy characters, so it is very similar.
They're weird.
Yeah.
I just want to know when they're going to make a Toe Jam and Earl movie.
Ugh. Hated that game.
You hated Toe Jam and Earl was a great game.
I went for a joust.
I'm Earthworm Jim.
Oh, that would be good.
I would watch it.
I'm waiting on a reboot or a remake of Max Payne.
A good one?
Oh.
Yeah, that deserves a proper treatment.
Video game and movie.
Yeah.
What else you got, Jeff?
Our top 5 this week, or the top 5 in the box office this week, coming in at number 1 again. Deadpool and Wolverine, another $54.2 million, a total of $494.5 million on a $200 million budget. Raking in the money.
Yep.
Coming in at number
Officially over
2.
$1 billion, correct?
Correct.
I think worldwide, yes, it is.
Yep.
Coming in at number 2, It Ends With Us. Made $50 million in its opening weekend on a budget of $25 million. Isn't it nice to double your budget in the first weekend?
Heck yeah.
At number 3, Twisters made another $15 million, a total of $222.5 million on a budget of $155 million. Jumping in at number 4, Borderlands made $8.8 million in its opening weekend on a budget of $120 million.
Isn't it nice to make 1/13 of your budget in the opening weekend?
Does it break $50 million worldwide?
No. I'm going to say $30 million. I'll check see what it is right now.
Like, I just want to know if Eli Roth is like on a suicide watch right now. Or like, I mean, the Lionsgate lack of like real promotion of that movie. Like, I wonder if it was like they already told him like this thing is going to tank. We are not putting anything behind it. It's not worth our time or money. We're just putting it out there to get it out of, and we're going to take the loss.
Yeah,
and he's just like,
well, at least
if that's the case, I'll say kudos to them for putting it out rather than going the route of just saying, "Oh, it sucks. Nobody can see it."
Yeah, doing the Batgirl route. I agree. At least they put it out so they can at least let the people be the judge instead of just hiding it from them. Now, granted, we're going to rip them apart and tell them they suck, but
it's out of the top 5 already.
Current worldwide gross for Borderlands is $12.3 million.
Yeah, it's going to hit 30 million tops.
All depends on if there's places left to open. I don't know.
Deadpool made sorry.
I would say if they haven't been opened in China yet, and they are opening in China, they may get a little bit more.
On Monday alone, Deadpool made $5.8 million.
On Monday,
Kevin Hart is big in China, so
well, he's about the same height as all the people that live there.
Yeah,
right?
but he's a draw. He's a draw.
It has not opened in China.
Oh well, there's your bread and butter.
It doesn't have an actual release date for China either.
It might be banned in China.
It's still opens in Germany at the end of the month.
Oh, Germany will go nuts for it.
Well, I mean, their love of torturing of themselves could at a blaze. That could be your mother's milk right there.
No,
I mean, they did come up with the word Schadenfreude.
Yeah.
Any culture that has that loves something this terrible, I guess.
Yeah, I can see that doing well there.
And finishing out the top 5, we've got Despicable Me 4, making $8 million, a total of $330 million on a $100 million budget. Jason's favorite of the Minion movies.
Those things just make money, don't they?
I mean, they probably don't even have to spend $100 million to make it, and they can just print money.
Just print it.
And they can let Jason animate it as long as it's voiced by the actors. It'd probably make $100 million.
Fucking Despicable Me 4.
I would love to see a terribly hand-drawn animated Minions, even just a short, and see if you get, like you said, the Minion actors doing their little thing with like banana.
It's so bad.
Banana.
Is that your Minion?
Yeah, that's my Minion. Yeah. Banana.
Brian, tell us real quick what's coming out.
Oh, we've got 9 films.
No, you better do it fucking quick because it's 10 o'clock. What do we got?
What's that?
What do we got? It's 10 o'clock. Come on.
Oh, okay. Let's see. Coming out this week. Let's see. We have a film called Bums.
I hate you. I hate you so much.
A homeless individual group of people join a government program aimed at reintegrating them into society after decades on the street.
Is this a documentary?
No, it's a drama.
Oh, jeez.
We have Ryan's World, the movie.
Fuck this. No.
Titan Universe Adventure.
No,
it's an animated film.
Oh my god!
I was a little disappointed. I thought this was going to be based off of the soap opera.
Another World?
Was there a Ryan's World soap opera or something?
I have no idea.
Ryan's Hope.
Ryan's Hope. Oh, I was putting Ryan's Hope and Ryan's World together, Another World together. Oh,
if I had, I would do the wonk wonk wonk, Jeff.
Well, you've got the thing. You can hit it. We just won't hear it over.
That's true.
Here.
That's true.
We also have Caligula: The Ultimate Cut coming, being re-released or released.
I know my weekend plans now. How long is that, Brian? Is that at least clocking in at 3 hours?
6 hours.
How much added nudity do we have?
Let's look at the runtime here.
I hate you all.
It's not showing me the runtime, so that's good news.
I mean, I remember watching that as a child on PBS and just being amazed by what I was seeing.
I didn't get that. Could you try again?
What was that?
That was my Apple Watch. I clicked it by accident. I'm sorry.
Let's see here. Also coming out this week, we have My Penguin Friend.
Nice.
Inspired by a true story, an enchanting adventure about a lost penguin rescued from an oil spill who transforms the life of a heartbroken fisherman. They soon become unlikely friends, so bonded that even the vast ocean cannot divide them.
Oh, Brian, I found a runtime for Caligula, 2 hours, 58 minutes.
There we go.
That's nowhere near long enough.
Anything else, Brian?
Yeah, we've got Rob Peace. Based on a true story about a brilliant young man who puts his bright future at risk to help his father. I saw a preview for this. It looks pretty decent, actually. Let's see here. Also coming out, we have Dee Dee.
Oh, Love
saw a
this
preview
movie.
for this as well.
Yeah, looks amazing.
You know what? We have to listen to all your bullshit. So you ask me to do this every week when Jim's not here. You ask for it. So you're going to sit through it while I do it. Okay?
Yeah, I'm listening. I'm really excited about Dee Dee.
In 2008, during the last month of summer before high school begins, an impressionable 13-year-old Taiwanese American boy learns what his family can't teach him: how to skate, how to flirt, and how to love your mom.
Can't wait.
That one sounds familiar. Was that supposed to come out a couple months ago?
No, it was a porn.
Actually, Jeff, you are right. It was supposed to be released earlier in this year. Like, I don't remember when. I do remember talking about that.
Yeah, that plot sounded familiar. And there could have been 2 movies with that plot.
I hope so. Can't wait for Dee Dee too.
Also coming out this week, we have skincare.
Like the commercial?
Famed esthetician Hope Goldman's skincare business faces sabotage when rival Angel Vergara opens a boutique across the street. Aided by her friend Jordan, Hope seeks to uncover who's trying to ruin her reputation. This actually looks pretty good too. This is Elizabeth Banks, Nathan Fillion.
Okay, I like the cast. I like the cast.
Yeah, I saw the preview for this yesterday. Actually, it looks pretty decent.
Okay, I'll give you that one, Brian. I'll give you that one.
You can give me or not give me anything. I'm still doing it. So
I'm with you, Brian. I got your support here. I'm supporting you.
Let's see here. Coming out also this week, we have the Elliot Page drama Close to You.
Close to You.
Fresh off of season 4 Umbrella Academy release. Elliot Page stars as a trans man who returns to his hometown for the first time in years. Let's see. Who else is... and lastly this week coming out, we have Alien: Romulus. I saved the best for last.
Did you?
While scavenging the deep ends of a derelict space station, a group of young space colonizers come face to face with the most terrifying life form in the universe.
Roseanne Barr.
Face huggers.
No.
Roseanne Barr. Rosie O'Donnell. It's my Aunt Rosie.
Have you seen Exit to Eden? That's my Rosie O'Donnell. I'm Rosie O'Donnell. Have you seen me in tight leather?
God, please make him stop.
Top 5 coming out. Here we go. Top 5 this week is from Sean, a Pittsburgh nerd. Top 5.
I guess I'm done.
You said it was the last one.
He said the last one.
Well, there you go. Those are the 9 releases coming out this week.
I've been looking for the Romulus, so
You're the one.
yeah, I am. I am the one.
Let's see. Top 5 this week is top 5 favorite sports uniforms. This is from Sean.
Yes.
He came up with this one. This is a good one. I like this. Sean, since you're the guest, you can go first. What's your number 5?
Well, I'm going to tell you right now, I'm going to preface this by saying I did not pick any Pittsburgh sports team uniforms because then my list would just be nothing but Pittsburgh sports teams.
I did the same thing. I got rid of Cincinnati.
Yeah. So coming in at number 5, the Whale, the Hartford Whalers.
Oh, the green.
Yeah. Even like the whites, like the simplicity of those uniforms, the colors, the way they work together, and then that beautiful Whaler logo.
You know what? I'll do number 5 here. I'll stay with hockey. I'll do the Phoenix Coyotes with the coyote, like the messed up one. The artistic.
Oh my lord!
Well, here we go. There's a method to my madness here, Jeff. I hobied it. You ready? The Vancouver Canucks 1970s, the brown with the giant V on them. It is iconic. It's ugly and iconic.
Now, if we were going for ugly uniforms, like my favorite ugly uniforms, I guess I could have picked a bunch of stuff.
No, those are great. I always, when I play NHL hockey, I always, if I'm Vancouver, I always pick those uniforms. They're so awful. They're great.
You're the one.
Huh?
What?
You're
Brian,
the one.
Brian, you're number 5.
My number 5, I'm going to go with the 1980s Boston Bruins logo.
Okay.
That's when they came out with the spoked bee, I believe.
Yeah. I like that
Okay.
one. That's a good one.
But they still use that, or did I miss something?
They've just updated it, but that's when
Okay.
when it debuted, I believe.
Gotcha.
What's your number 5, Jeff?
My number 5, I'm doing this.
Mm-hmm.
I really hate the team, but they've got one of the most iconic, the Yankees pinstripes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, there's not many Yankee haters out there bigger than me, but
Those pinstripes.
I try my best to match your level of hate for the Yankees.
but the pinstripe uniforms are the quintessential Major League Baseball uniform.
What's your number 4, Jeff?
My number 4, I'm going from old and vintage to brand spanking new. I'm hitting the Seattle Kraken.
I like those. The Seattle Kraken.
That is a nice uniform.
It's my favorite of any current NHL teams logos out there and uniforms. Color patterns, they're nice. The multi shades of blue.
Mm-hmm. And it's a cool nickname, too. Number 4 for you, Brian?
Number 4 for me, I'm going to Hobie this. I'm going to go with the 1980s Patriots logos, uniforms, and the 2000s Patriots uniforms.
I'm shocked. I do like the 1980s one, though.
I mean,
yeah,
it's
Patriot
not a
Pat logo.
stupid coyote.
Hey.
So.
The Patriot Pat logo is like, I don't know why they went away from that. We went with the Flying Elvis, but
Yeah.
My number 4 was the San Diego Padres camo. I love the camo. I do. It's enough out of you, Brian.
I didn't realize this was a joke list.
I'm serious. I like the camo. To be fair, I don't have much fashion style.
I mean, the list says your favorite uniform, so I guess it's all literal to each of us, right?
Yes.
Yep.
What's your number 4, Sean?
I am going to create the greatest Hobie of all time for number 4.
Ooh.
Okay.
Ooh, let's hear it.
Any college football team that has embraced traditional uniforms.
Okay.
So I'm talking Ohio State, I'm talking Michigan, as much as it pains me to say, I'm talking Penn State, Alabama, LSU, Auburn, USC. Anybody who has stuck with really, like, we just wear 2 uniforms, really. We have a traditional look that you can go back to like the 60s, and you can see that we've been wearing the same looking uniform and that essentially the same looking uniform that entire time. And they haven't gone with, well, we have a blackout uniform and we've got this oddball color uniform because kids like it. And here's our Dayglow green uniform. And, no, like I'm talking like you are a traditional school with a traditional look, like Texas and Oklahoma, how like they look the same as they've looked for 100 years. That
might be the ultimate Hobie. You might be correct. That was a good one.
Thank you.
What's your number 3?
My number 3 is the 90s Chicago Bulls.
Oh, wow.
Particularly the red.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
that's the iconic, the red jersey.
That red iconic, especially in the 90s with like, Jordan and Pippen and there was a look to that, and I absolutely love that look.
My number 3 Sean will appreciate this one. Las Vegas Outlaws and Memphis Maniacs XFL jerseys. Love them.
Wow.
Love them. Love them. I love the blue on the Memphis Maniacs. I love the black, but I love the skull of the what do you call it? Longhorn on the Vegas Outlaws one. It's perfect. Love it.
I had a Vegas Outlaws hat and jersey.
Love it. I had all the XFL hats. I had all the XFL hats.
I think I still have the hat, but I don't think I have the jersey any longer.
I love the Las Vegas Outlaw ones. Number 3 for you, Brian?
Let's see. Number 3 for me is going to be the expansion uniforms for the Florida Marlins.
Okay.
That was a nice uniform. It like a lot of people have forgotten. Bravo to you, sir. Is that they did have a sweet look when they debuted.
And they went with a color
like
palette that nobody else would use.
But it makes sense in Miami.
Yeah,
like,
it makes perfect sense.
Yeah, I mean that color palette down there like make perfect sense, and like they did. They looked very sharp in those uniforms.
Number 3 for you, Jeff?
Number 3. This is where I am a homer.
Okay.
Because I'm picking the Bengals. Their striped helmet is the best helmet in the NFL.
Okay. I do like the. I don't know. The Cleveland Browns is a great one, right?
Well, honestly, I like it because it doesn't do to make a logo and slap it on the side of a helmet that most teams do is nothing special. I like the fact Bengals did something different and the Browns did nothing.
Yeah.
So
could be worse. Could be like
fault
3
them.
giant asterisks on a side helmet. Jeez.
Hey, I'll give Pittsburgh credit. I like the fact that they only put it on one side
That's true.
because it would read backwards on the other.
What's your number?
The only thing I'll say, Jeff, is like I wish the Bengals like I don't care for the helmet, but I get why you like it. I'm not gonna this, but I wish they would go back to like those uniforms they when they debuted the striped helmet and everything like those
I'll
80
give you that,
uniforms. Like those were like the
1981.
best version of the striped uniforms that they've ever done.
I'll agree with that. I just as someone I remember when they brought out those helmets because I hated the old ones where it just said Bengals on the side. So
Yeah,
when
I
they
love
came out with something new, I hated them. they came out with this, and I was a fan ever since.
Yeah, I get that. But like
Anyway, that was my.
the Ken Anderson look, like that look of like '83, those uniforms. Like as much as I don't like the helmet, like the rest of that looked so good.
Number 2 for you, Jeff?
Number 2 for me. This is where I hobied it. I picked the run of jerseys that the Sock Monkeys, our beer league softball team, has had.
It's a good one, Jeff. I
Beautiful
like
logos, beautiful color choices.
that. Didn't we have a jersey where the sock monkey was running away with a severed head? Remember that one?
Yeah, that one I think was designed. Well, it was
It's designed by one of my brothers.
baseball was the head.
Yeah.
My brother designed. It was a baseball head that looked scary. I mean, we had a monkey with a gun, a monkey with a keg.
Yeah, we've had some good ones.
Some good ones.
Brian. Sorry.
No, I'm just saying. So yeah, I kind of had to go real close to home on that one.
Brian, number 2.
Number 2 for me, this is going to be another Hobie for me, but it'll be not because of the teams, but so I'm going to go with the 90s Florida State Seminoles uniforms.
Ooh, yeah.
Yeah.
And then also the 90s Orioles uniforms.
Okay.
Where like they had the classic all black hat with just the bird.
Yeah.
Okay, the real bird, not the cartoon bird.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Those were our 2 travel like select baseball team. The 2 teams I played on, we were both the Orioles and the Seminoles. Like those were like inspirations for our uniforms. So I really like both of those.
Okay. My number 2 is spits in the face of Sean here. It's the Oregon Ducks dark green Ohana jersey. Really like it. I think it's sharp. I like it. So sorry, Sean.
That's quite all right.
What's your number 2?
My number 2 would be the Oakland, Los Angeles, Oakland, Las Vegas Raiders.
Okay.
They've changed cities multiple times, obviously, I've just listed, but the look has remained the same the entire time, and it is one of the sharpest looking uniforms you'll ever see. Like the silver pants, the black jerseys with no stripes on them, just the big TV numbers on the sleeves, and the silver helmet with the Raider. It's just an iconic look.
I won't disagree.
Did anyone see? Speaking of the Raiders, I guess there's a Twitter post going around where one of their season ticket holders videoed they received their season tickets from them. So they send out their season tickets. Are you familiar with the recent trend of teams when they do their championship rings, they're in a shadow box that plays a video or something.
Mm-hmm.
So the Raiders did that with their season tickets, but instead of a video, it's a treasure map of all of the teams that they play at home. And it's it's lit up. It's super fucking cool, man. It's just
didn't that play too that NFL Films Raiders music when you opened up as well? Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah,
I thought that was super cool because I had season tickets for the Bengals for 10 years, and you just got an envelope in the mail, which I get, it's cool, but it just adds a little bit to the experience, I think, of them doing that. That's
Oakland
pretty cool.
season tickets is like The Office. It's your birthday.
Well, also with the Raiders, first they're still a relatively new market, trying to build that fan base.
Yeah.
And also with it being Las Vegas, you have got to spend money to make money and be showy and stuff like
Put
that.
on a show. Yep.
Yeah. So that's probably why they did that.
Like the Golden Knights do every time they open a game.
Yeah.
Number 1 for you, Sean?
Number 1 would be the Love Ya Blue Houston Oilers.
That's a good one.
That is good.
You go back, you think about the Warren Moon years and stuff. Those uniforms are just so sharp, and it hurts me that the Tennessee Titans use those uniforms once or twice a year. That should be they should have done the I hate to say it, the classy thing and left that in Houston and renamed themselves when they moved to Tennessee, much like Cleveland being left the Browns. But even when Houston or when Tennessee dons those uniforms, they just look so damn good.
My number 1 is my favorite American League team, Toronto Blue Jays. Their City Connect jerseys that came out this year. Love them. The black with the skyline in that. So.
I don't think I remember their City Connects, although I also don't remember seeing a City Connect jersey I actually liked.
Next time we have game night, Jeff, I'll wear it.
Yeah.
You got one?
Yeah, I got one for Father's Day. So
the Pirate City Connect jersey.
Did Fanatics actually get it to them on time? They actually got it?
My wife bought it, so I guess they did.
Yeah.
Let's see. I'm pulling that up right now. City Connect.
Number 1 for you, Brian?
Number 1 for me is going to be the Mighty Ducks of Anaheim.
Quack, quack.
Oh.
Yep. I think that's just the duck, the colors, all of it. I just everything about it I love.
Jeff, what's your number 1?
My number 1. Okay, I'm just looking at the Toronto one. No, that isn't too bad, to be honest, for
Thank you.
Most City Connects I don't like. But my number 1, I got to go with University of Maryland.
The Terrapin.
Any uniforms that use the Maryland flag as their basis, I love it. And the fact that other people really hate it makes me love it even more.
Okay. We did have.
It's cool because they'll wear their receivers will wear their gloves, where it's like the gloves are completely different because obviously the flag is divided into sections, where one is the yellow and black, and the other is the other colors, the orangey stuff or whatever they have. So I just think it's unique that nobody else has anything even similar to it.
Okay.
It is unique. I will give you that. I don't care for it, but I will say it's unique.
We did have several listeners. Dev, the Psy guy. He had the 2024-2025 Newcastle United third kit. Number 4, 2024-2025 Newcastle United home kit. 2024-2025 Newcastle United away kit. The 2024-2025 Detroit City FC away kit. I'm sensing soccer. And the 73-74 Newcastle United home kit. Honorable mentions, Detroit Lions. So
I have to say, I'm sorry, Dev, but I don't watch soccer, so I have no fucking clue what any of that shit looks like.
It was a big pass. Big pass this week. Let's see.
I just pulled it up, and the first thing I see for a Newcastle jersey looks like black and white stripes, like a referee jersey.
Oh, thrilling.
So I don't know if that's what he had in mind, but
I'm only familiar with 2 soccer teams, and one of them is fictitious. So
would that be Ted Lasso's team?
Yeah, that's Ted Lasso's team.
That's it.
Yeah.
Doug, Brian's dad, had Lithuanian 1992 tie-dye Olympic basketball jersey.
Oh, those were great. I didn't think of those.
They couldn't afford to fund a team, so the Grateful Dead supported the team and sent them uniforms. Utah Jazz from 96 to 2004. Phoenix Coyotes from 96 to 2003. Hell yeah, nice job, Doug.
So that's where it comes from.
Yeah.
New England, the Pat Patriot design.
There we go, Doug.
And Baltimore Orioles overall. And Jacoba, at Tweets by Jacoba, had Toronto Raptors, 97, 98, the dinosaur, the raptor. Brazilian national team soccer.
Yeah.
St. Louis Blues in 95, 96 with the blue line. St. Louis Cardinals, 76 through 84 with the powder blue. Oh, gosh.
Oh, those are terrible.
And Everton Black Watch, 1881, 1882. I don't know what that is.
1881 to 1882? That is pretty freaking old.
Football club, Everton.
I'm I'm not even sure if there's photographic evidence of that shit.
Yeah. So,
Jason, we did have one comment come in on Facebook just recently while we were recording.
Yes.
From Nick Mayer.
Mm-hmm.
Number 5, the 1980s Houston Astros Rainbows.
Love that one.
Nice.
Oh, hated those.
Number 4, 2013 UCLA football, the black jerseys, our black logo uniform.
No, not good.
Number 3, the 2018 West Point football Big Red 1 tribute.
Okay.
I let Army and Navy get away with that because it's Army and Navy.
Yeah. They can do anything.
That was a good looking uniform that they did that year.
Yeah. Number 2, the 1926 Chicago Blackhawks black and white.
Oh, geez, that's old school.
Yeah.
I like it.
That's thick.
Number 1, the 95 through 99 Toronto Raptors purple.
Okay.
And then his honorable mentions are the Chicago White Sox City Connect and the Mighty Ducks of Anaheim purple and teal.
There you go.
I just looked up the Everton 1881 kit. Pretty black jersey with a red diagonal stripe, like a sash going across it. So looks pretty sharp. I kind of like that one.
Okay. Sean, where can we hear you at?
Well, first of all, I'd like to give my honorable mentions.
Oh, sorry. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I do have a number of honorable mentions. I will, as much as it pains me to say this, the Cleveland Browns, especially like their current uniform, when essentially they switch to the white face mask, I think that looks very sharp.
Mm-hmm.
The Lakers, either in the purple or the gold, like in the 80s, that was chef's kiss. The Quebec Nordiques, the LA Dodgers. Yeah, the LA Dodgers, like their white home uniforms. Again, much like the Yankees, that's about as sharp as you can get in traditional. I love the Chiefs uniforms. Again, the simplicity of them, the way the colors worked with the red and the white, and just beautiful. And the 1990 South Allegheny Gladiator football team. If Jeff can bring up the sock monkeys, I can bring up my high school football team, and our home
straight you can.
Pretty damn sharp.
Did you score 4 touchdowns?
I never scored a touchdown because I was a left tackle.
Good man. The guys that deserve all the credit. I'll give you that.
6'4", 250 pounds, all badass.
The harder, it's like a Rubik's Cube.
That's right. You
Sean,
can find us on Facebook and Twitter. Just search Pittsburgh Nerd Podcast. We're very, very easy to find. Also, our podcast, The Pittsburgh Nerd, we release a new episode for you every Monday for your listening pleasure on your drive to work to get your week started. So give us a listen if you've enjoyed my hijinks and or shenanigans. And if you have not, because I've dragged out this episode for another half hour, I do apologize. But come on, it was good conversation.
It was great. And Sean, I'm going to get in touch with you. I'm going to get in touch with you, Sean, about the Rumble, the Survivor Series one. We're going to do some wrestling podcast.
Awesome. I cannot wait. I need, I am starved to talk to somebody about wrestling, and I don't do it on Twitter or Facebook because those people are just awful.
Yes.
And nobody I know watches, and so it's I'm always I wonder if Brigger would just talk to me for an hour. Then,
Sean, I'm going to send you my phone number. I need you to text me during pay-per-views and that, because I go to one website that we have a Discuss or whatever it is, that thing, Discord.
Yeah. And
I don't know anybody, but we talk, and it's all pretty good. Everyone's pretty level-headed, and I enjoy it. But I'm going to need I'm going to send you my phone number, and we're going to text during pay-per-views, because I don't have anyone over here either. I gotcha.
I love it. I love that.
Did we just become best friends?
I think we did, and Ian's not even fucking around to listen to it.
Yeah.
Fuck that guy.
Yeah. Titles for the show. Oh, sorry. Bad idea of the week. We did have from Pat, who has been on our show, Cheese Coney. What was it? Shoot. Now I lost it. Damn it.
It was at the end of it was on the outline.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to get right now. Damn it.
Oh, you want me to read it?
Yeah, go ahead.
Bad idea number 305 and I'll actually say his name correctly. It's 1K Coney, not Cheese Coney Pat. That's not his name. His bad idea says, on vacation and watching a parent forcing their child to go down a 400-foot sand dune with signs saying not to go down the sand dune, as it will require a helicopter to get you back up.
It's perfectly fine. It's fine.
That sounds like a pretty bad idea.
It's fine. The kids are fine.
Yeah.
Hey, they got a helicopter ride. It only costs you a couple $1,000.
That's true. That's true.
Yeah.
Let's see here. Titles for the show. I
was being cheap. I don't know.
Oh, titles for the show. I had Cheese Coney Pat. Harder than a Rubik's Cube.
Well, I'm right there.
And What Happened to North Dakota? Anyone else?
Let's see. I had a Rubik's Cube. I had There Are No More Dungeons Nor Dragons Left to Conquer.
Correct.
I would drink that out of a bathtub, or brisket poutine. One-eyed Pete's lightsaber. And we have to listen to all of your bullshit.
Brian, do you got any? I want to listen to your
had-
titles.
Yeah, I had that one as well. We have to listen to all your bullshit. Let's see. I had Blake. That guy is a dick. Brian. He's good people. Rich horse. And I also had I would drink that out of a bathtub.
Sean, you like the harder than a Rubik's Cube, right?
I do, yeah. I mean,
You're the
I'd like
guest.
to-
You get to pick. That's fine.
we'll go there, but I do love the fact that I've been a major influence that all of you have have been quotes of mine as possible show titles. It touches me.
You had the best quotes this week.
Hey, Jason.
Yeah.
We missed a listener top 5.
Yeah.
I just found it. Sorry. It is from Dana Gardens.
Okay.
Oh no.
Number 5, 1979 Pirates with the painter cap.
I like that.
It was not a painter cap. It was a pillbox cap.
I will tweet
makes
that
it
at him
worse
right now and
somehow.
let him know that.
That somehow makes it
It's a-
worse, I think.
Pillbox cap. Number 4, the 1976 Tampa Bay Rowdies of the NASL.
Okay.
Not sure what those look like.
Number 3, the Bengals all white with the white striped helmet.
I like that.
I do like that. Number 2, the Buccaneers from the 70s, the creamsicle orange uniforms.
Oh, yeah. Makes me hungry.
Buccaneer
I like-
Bridge.
I like
Those
the Buccaneer they have. I just wasn't a fan of the color.
And then his number 1 is the Xavier Running Man Baby Blue. Which is pretty spot on for him.
It's like Dana Gardens is a Xavier University bar.
It's not a high school bar. It's not
No,
the St.
it's not
Xavier
St.
High
X.
School bar. I heard that.
What year are the Tampa Bay Rowdies jerseys did he say?
1976.
Let's see what those look like.
What was the NASL? Was that like a?
I think that's the National American Soccer League.
Okay, so
Yeah.
been with the
Pele at
Cosmos.
the Cosmos, yeah.
yeah.
I'm sorry, it was the North American Soccer League.
Okay.
Well, I saw some cool designs, and then I typed in specifically 76, and these were just kind of bland, I thought. Sorry,
Dana.
Dana Gardens.
I mean, that would have been like me calling up the 1988 Pittsburgh Gladiators from the Arena Football League.
Yeah.
Well, now I got to look that up.
Philadelphia Soul, John Bon Jovi's indoor football league or team.
When the Arena Football League was formed, it was 4 teams, and the Pittsburgh Gladiators were one of the original 4.
Was Chicago Marauders one of them?
I think so. Yeah.
I remember watching it on one of those low frequency TV channels. And going, what the hell is this? Sean.
I mean,
oh, sorry. Go ahead, Jeff.
I'm going to say, honestly, if I was going to be picking one of those old, well, not real old because it was from the 90s or whatever, but the European Football League or whatever they had there, I was a big fan of the Scottish Claymores.
Okay.
The Claymores did have a sweet uniform. Yeah.
Well, gentlemen.
I also can't believe nobody brought up the Iowa Barnstormers.
Well, gentlemen.
I honestly don't remember what their uniform looked like.
The big thing was that their helmet looked like it had the goggles sitting on them.
Oh,
The side of the helmet.
Oh,
It was
I
a
probably
gold-
would like that.
It was a gold helmet, and then on the very front of it, it looked like a set of goggles, and then the strap went around the back of the helmet. It was a really cool design.
Oh, yeah.
I just
pulled that
pulled
up.
it up. That is pretty cool.
Well, that gets an honorable mention from me now. Thanks for introducing that to me, Sean.
That's on my list too, Jeff.
That's Kurt Warner era Iowa boss, my friend.
Well, gentlemen, it's been a pleasure. It's been a pleasure. It's been our longest
Sean?
episode in over like 2 years.
Yeah.
But
Sean,
Sean,
thanks for showing up.
Sean, thank you. You're a doll.
It's been my pleasure. Thanks for having me on. I appreciate it. It's been, I always have fun with you guys.
No, we love it. And be listening. Couple months. Survivor Series. We're doing a pay.
Yeah, I
we're doing
can't wait
we're
for
doing
my wrestling podcast to come out.
Yeah. Brian, you're on it.
No, I'm not.
Wow. I was going to have you on it. Why not?
No, you weren't.
I may. Anyway.
You don't
trying to
have
exclude
anybody
him,
around
I
here to
heard.
talk about wrestling with.
Anyways.
You could be wrestling with your feelings, Brian.
There we go. All night long.
on the Hobie channels. So yeah, thanks for everybody for listening. Go check out Pittsburgh Nerd. They're awesome. And Roger says goodbye.
Goodbye.
Bye.
From Walking Dead to Talking Heads, from comic books to TV sets, there's a history, not so bad, there's the history. It's the history of bad, so bad. The history of bad, it's bad. History of bad ideas. Podcast.
You've been listening to Hobie.